Welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Chapter 21. Xiao Wu, come on. Resurrection, my love. Hearing the voice on the radio, Villette was slightly startled. Good guy, this time not only the male protagonist is here, but also the female protagonist. I don't know if my guess is right. We'll find out later. Before the two-person spirit fight ended, Navalette also hosted a single-person spirit fight. The increased power was incomparable to the previous fight between Tang San and Zhu Zuqing. Unexpectedly, he had not yet used the convenience of rights to arrange the two to come to his responsible ring. As a result, the two came by themselves. After Xiao Wu stepped onto the ring, her beautiful eyes kept staring at Navalette. She always felt that Villette had the aura of a superior person, an aura that was not human. I don't know if it was her imagination. Now that she saw Villette again, she was even more sure of her suspicion. Although the aura was not strong and it was not the breath of a soul beast, she just felt that Villette was not a human being. Sounds convoluted, but that's exactly what it is. Even the titled Douluo couldn't see anything strange about Villette, but spirit beasts were different, they were more sensitive, and they were too familiar with human scent. That Villette has an aura that belongs to humans, but it is mixed with an aura that does not belong to humans, let alone the aura of a soul beast, but it makes the soul beast feel close to him. Tang San was a little disgusted when he saw this, but he was helpless. His back teeth were really broken. I always feel like the cabbage I have grown is almost no longer my own. The iron-blooded combination is a pair of twin brothers. They are tall and have bulging muscles. You can tell at a glance that they are the sons of the Lian family. When the two saw their opponents, they were both slightly startled. Two such young guys. Little sister, go down by yourselves, I'm afraid I'll hurt you. Fighting spirits is not a game. If you can't hold back, you may not be injured. Seeing Xiao Wu's cute appearance, the two brothers reminded her. After hearing this, Xiao Wu looked away and came back from her trance. Little sister. Her Xiao Wu sister's real age is older than their wife's grandpa's grandpa. The two players on the left are the combination just established today, the 3-5 combination. The two players on the right are an iron-blooded combination that has won 4 consecutive victories. In today's spirit battle, will the new combination of 3 and 5 win, or will the 3 and 5 combination contribute 5 consecutive victories to the iron-blooded combination? Let's wait and see. After the host warmed up, Navalette said, both sides have 1 minute to release their martial spirits, and then the competition officially begins. Because this is a soul-fighting game, both parties are not allowed to intentionally harm their opponents. Until the point is reached. After saying this, Villette gave Tang San a thoughtful look. With Xiao Wu participating in the battle, it would be difficult for her not to get hurt. Once Xiao Wu was injured, Tang San saw that everyone had a way to kill him, so it was clearly him who asked Xiao Wu to get hurt. He said something about protecting his sister, but every time he said, Xiao Wu, come on. Possessed by the soft bone rabbit. Xiao Wu took the lead in completing the possession of the martial spirit. Not to be outdone, the two brothers Tang San and Tai Shui also completed the release of the martial spirit. With the previous lesson, Tang San didn't want to say a word, for fear that Villette would warn him again later. However, as a gentleman, it is still necessary to introduce yourself. Tang San, Wuhun Lan Yinsao, a 29-level control-type Great Soul Master. Please give me some advice. Xiao Wu, Wuhun Rugutu, a level 29 powerful attack spirit master. Please give me your advice. P.S. Xiao Wu has always been a power attack type battle soul master, not an agility type battle soul master. This is the setting of the original work. Whether it is a novel, anime, or comic, he is a power attack type battle soul master. What? You guys actually have level 29. The two brothers Tai Long and Tai Hu were stunned. These two children who looked so young had actually reached level 29. The soul power level is higher than them. Humph, stop looking down on others. You don't understand the difference between a genius and a genius. Xiao Wu put on a fighting posture and said with a disdainful smile. After hearing this, Tai Long and Tai Hu looked at each other, but they didn't refute genius. The most indispensable thing in this world is genius. However, even a genius must have time to develop. They are just great soul masters at the moment. How can their actual combat experience be as good as those who have been in the soul fighting arena all year round? Iron Dragon, Martial Soul Iron Hammer. A level 28 Great Soul Master of the Power Attack System, please give me your advice. Iron Tiger. Martial Spirit Iron Hammer. A level 27 Powerful Attack Spirit Master, please give me your advice. The two brothers Tai Long and Tai Hu released their martial spirits almost at the same time. They were both ordinary forging hammers. Tang San was stunned when he saw this, because he also possesses a hammer spirit. Although it is somewhat different from the hammers of these two people, the fighting method should be the same. Xiao Wu, be careful. I got it, third brother. As time passed, the two sides did not provoke each other, but quietly waited for the arrival of a minute. Tang San was afraid that Villette would give him a yellow card, but the two iron-blooded brothers had their own considerations. Having reached level 29 at such a young age, the spirit ring ratio is still the best. It would be false to say that there is no one behind them. It is best not to provoke such an opponent. 1 minute is up, the game begins. As soon as he finished speaking, Tang San immediately said to Xiao Wu, come on. This is not the first time that Tang San and Xiao Wu have cooperated. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Wu rushed forward alone. Tang San stood there and watched the situation. Tai Long and Tai Hu looked at each other. The two of them rushed towards Xiao Wu with a forging hammer weighing hundreds of kilograms. They wanted to eliminate one person first. The head of the forging hammer was bigger than Xiao Wu's face. If it accidentally touched it, Tang San might explode. Xiao Wu, be careful. With Tang San's interference, Xiao Wu was slightly startled. Of course she knew how to proceed with caution. Who would want to be hit with a hammer? The two sides fought for 2 rounds. Xiao Wu was 1 against 2. Although she was at a disadvantage, she was not injured. At this point, belated support arrived. The first soul skill, Blue-Silver Coil. Xiao Wu, take advantage of the moment. The first soul skill, Waist Bow. Xiao Wu's legs. Time passed and the two sides fought for several rounds. Finally, Xiao Wu was accidentally hit by Tai Long's martial spirit. At this time, Tang San exploded. You are looking for death. Looking at Xiao Wu who fell down, Tang San's eyes turned red, his purple demon eyes opened, and then he used Ghost Shadow. The whole person was like a phantom, rushing towards the Iron Dragon and Iron Tiger. Why do you always wait for Xiao Wu to get injured before you explode? Perhaps this routine was used too much later, so Xiao Wu was asked to sacrifice and then be resurrected, my love. PFF'd. Thinking of this, Villette couldn't hold back and laughed out loud. Chapter 22. No one can challenge justice in the ring. Fortunately, at the critical moment of the game, no one noticed anything strange about Villette. That's weird, shouldn't it be that the two of them used the combo skill Do Ji Yu Yi throw to attack Xiao Wu, then Tang San prevented the injury, and Xiao Wu used the sleeve arrows to prepare to kill the two of them. The battlefield is changing rapidly, perhaps because of the butterfly navalette, which has changed the situation. Xiao Wu was injured and Tang San exploded. Tang San's eyes were red. If these two people dare to hurt Xiao Wu, they will be killed. He did not use a hidden weapon, but rushed forward directly. HMPH, you are overestimating your own abilities. Tai Long and Tai Hu are twin brothers. Although they don't have martial soul fusion skills, they have the same mind. The two looked at each other again, with a trace of cruelty flashing in their eyes. ×2. This is the bottom of the box skill of the two brothers. It uses its own rotation to drive the spirit, and then throws it out. The force generated by rotation can greatly increase the throwing force. Tang San didn't take it seriously when he saw this. How could such a skill hit him with the Ghost Shadow? That devil's pace directly evaded the two strongest attacks. Tang San had already arrived in front of the two brothers when their martial spirits left their hands. We admit defeat. ? Quote. Tang San was just about to take action, paused slightly, and gave up. Do you think that you can just admit defeat? The anger in Tang San's heart has been ignited. How can he live up to his oath if he doesn't kill these two brothers? If someone wants to kill you, ask them to step over my body. The memories flashed away, and there was only killing intent in Tang San's red eyes. Go to hell, this is the price you pay for hurting Xiao Wu. At some point, 2 lancets appeared in Tang San's hands. The lancet is a kind of hidden weapon. Although it ranks low, he doesn't even need to use tricks to deal with the two of them at this moment. At this moment, Navalette, who was standing at the edge of the ring, moved like thunder, and the speed was beyond everyone's imagination. I saw a book appearing behind Navelet. On the book, there were carvings like waves. 3 soul rings of Shui Lan, and Shui Lan quickly rose from his feet. After Wu Hun appeared, he didn't use soul skills or anything like that. Instead, he tapped his toes on the ground, and then jumped up slightly. He was so fast that before the audience could react, he directly hit Tang San body. Even Tang San, with his purple devil eyes and his ghostly shadow, didn't react at all. He only felt that there was some boundless power locked on him, and then he didn't know anything else. It's good to be young, just fall asleep. That billet was just an ordinary blow, and Tang San was knocked unconscious directly. This was because he had withdrawn his strength, otherwise, he might have a place among the many children who would awaken their martial spirits 7 years later. No one can challenge justice in the ring. Billet half crouched, then stood up and said, he didn't even look at Tang San, he was very calm. The opponent has already admitted defeat, but still holds murderous intentions and is preparing to kill. This kind of thing is not allowed to happen in the gaming arena. Tang San's player violated the rules and was immediately awarded a loss. The iron-blooded team won this game. After Navelet finished speaking, there was only the sound of gasps in the audience. I guessed that this referee was very strong, but I never thought he would be so strong. My husband is really powerful. He can reach such a long distance with just one leap. Even the strong soul sect may not be able to stop the danger just now. What's your husband? He's obviously my husband. What's the matter with Billet's husband's soul ring? They're all aqua blue, don't tell me, they're so pretty. It should be due to the influence of the martial spirit. His martial spirit is an aqua book, and the soul ring is affected to be aqua, which is reasonable. No one doubted that Billet's soul ring was fake, and they even found an excuse to prove why it was aqua blue. I have never heard of this kind of soul ring, let alone seen it. My husband is so handsome. Wait a minute, something's wrong, isn't Billet too strong? He didn't use soul skills at all just now. His martial soul was still a weapon soul. Is his body too strong? Some smarter people figured out the busy point. I think you are just jealous. What's wrong with my husband being stronger? I am your boyfriend. Not anymore. Forehead. On the ring, the two brothers Tai Long and Tai Hu were a little scared at this time. Tang San actually had no martial ethics and had given up. He was fully capable of stopping because he had not released his soul skills. But, Tang San actually wanted to kill them. This is not a game of fighting spirit. They showed mercy to that girl, but what they got in return was the murder of her companions. Thank you, Lord Magistrate. Thank you, Lord Magistrate. The two brothers bowed their hands to Navelet and said with gratitude. This is a life-saving grace. No need to thank you, it's your duty. Navelet waved his hand and said, then withdrew his martial spirit. The reason why the eternal flowing ceremony was revealed is simply because the soul master must use martial souls to use his own power. It doesn't matter whether he uses it or not, it's just like a **** wearing fake glass beads, just to go through the motions and not make himself look so different. What is a duty to you, but a life-saving grace to us two brothers? We know that our strength is low and there is nothing we can do to repay you. If Lord Billet wants something in the future, he will go up to the sword and go to the sea of fire without any hesitation. After hearing this, Billet gave the two of them a slightly thoughtful look, nodded, and said nothing more. Little dancing girl, when you wake up, take your companions down. The reason why you will lose this battle, I have just said. Navelet looked at Xiao Wu who was still lying on the ground pretending to be dead, and said. Xiao Wu. She had woken up a long time ago, and the other party was indeed merciful, otherwise she would have had to sleep a little longer. If she loses the game, she loses. She doesn't care. It was third brother who broke the rules, but I abide by the rules of the soul arena. Fortunately, Tang San had already fallen asleep, otherwise, after hearing these words, he would probably be so angry that he would vomit blood. Xiao Wu, I, Tang San, do all this for you. You are a team, and you will also be implicated if he commits a foul. Navelet explained a little bit. However, this is not what Xiao Wu meant. After both sides were off the field, Navelet felt his own power. Is it really so? With the existence of a protagonist, or a fair handling of a game, you can gain more power. This battle of spirits increased even more than the previous one between Tang San and Zhu Zuqing. Chapter 23. Siege of Dai Mubai. I knew that boy was not a creature of the pond. This speed and control of power are simply not what Tang San, Dai Mubai and the others can match. The aqua blue soul ring is really weird. Flender murmured subconsciously. Billet's strength seems to be over level 30, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Can a weapon soul master of more than 30 levels do this? Let alone meeting him, Flanders had never heard of it. It's a pity that he is from the soul fighting arena. Otherwise, he would be tricked, kidnapped, or even kidnapped, and I would take him to Shrek Academy. Flanders was extremely disappointed. He had seen a lot of geniuses in his life. Shrek Academy only admitted geniuses, but he had never seen a person like Billet. Wait a minute, this guy is too cruel. One blow, directly knocking Tang San unconscious. As a battle spirit master, Xiaowu had no problem in leading Tang San to the end alone. When everyone gathered again, everyone looked at Tang San who had fainted and fell into deep thought. They knew Tang San's strength. What kind of opponent could knock him out? Xiaowu, did you and Tang San meet some master? Why was he knocked unconscious? Dai Mubai asked doubtfully, his eyes full of confusion. At the Great Spirit Master stage, as long as there is no Spirit Master who can restrain Tang San should not lose. Well, that's not the case. It was the third brother who violated the rules of the Spirit Arena. After the opponent admitted defeat, he prepared to kill the opponent. Then, Billet took action and knocked the third brother unconscious. Xiaowu said without changing her expression, but there was dodge in her eyes. Tang San did this to revenge her. After hearing this, everyone fell into silence. Ma Hongjun, Oscar subconsciously took 2 steps back, away from Tang San. Well, Tang San doesn't look like a murderer. How could he be like this? As for Tang San being knocked unconscious by Navilite, everyone automatically ignored it. They just wanted to know why Tang San was like this. I was injured by my opponent at that time, and then the third brother wanted to avenge me. As soon as Xiaowu said this, Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar subconsciously moved away from Xiaowu and Tang San. Terrible. It's really terrible. Isn't it normal to get injured on the soul fighting stage? In order to avenge Xiaowu, Tang San actually wanted to kill Xiaowu. No wonder, no wonder. You can't offend these 2 guys. Wait a minute, did we laugh at Tang San before? Ma Hongjun and Oscar looked at each other. At this time, the fat man finally believed in Oscar's intuition. This Tang San was definitely murderous before. You have to be more careful in the future, it's best to strike first. The 2 of them thought so. There is no teacher in Shrek Academy who is normal, otherwise they would not hide in Shrek Academy. Their education methods are naturally different. Why not daring to cause trouble is mediocre. Those who strike first will gain the advantage, but those who strike later will suffer disaster. Isn't this normal operation? Once the seeds of doubt are planted, they are difficult to undo. They were afraid that one day Tang San would treat them like this. This is not impossible. This is indeed what Tang San did wrong and violated the rules of the fighting spirit arena. That's the end of the matter. You go back first. I have some things to do with Ma Hongjun. At this time, Flanders came over and said. He had admired Navilette before, but Navilette made him lose completely. That's right, he placed a big bet on Tang San and Xiaowu. The results of it. Tang San was sentenced to defeat for violating the rules of the spirit arena. After decades of hard work, we are finally back before liberation. Flender looked at Tang San with even more dissatisfaction. Can this be blamed on Billet? Of course not. Teacher, take Oscar with you, he wants to go too. Ma Hongjun said very righteously that the 2 of them had reached an agreement before, so naturally they could not break the agreement. Fat man, can't you put it mildly? Oscar is about to cry but has no tears. What does it mean that he wants to go too? Well, that's true. Flender's eyes twitched. As a single man who had been single for decades, for Luer Long, he never married and never went to that kind of place. However, his disciples and students, one by one. Hey, people's hearts are not as old as they used to be. In that case, Oscar, you should follow. Yes, Dean. Everyone went their separate ways as soon as they came out of the spirit fighting arena. Tang San, who fainted, was supported by Dai Mubai. Xiaowu lowered her head, wondering what she was thinking. Zhu Zuqing didn't even look at Dai Mubai and just walked on his own. Until he was about to arrive at Shrek's door, Dai Mubai finally couldn't help it anymore. Zhu Zuqing, what do you mean? For you, I have begun to change. You should be aware of my changes in the past 2 days. Dai Mubai shouted at Zhu Zuqing. His voice was so loud that Ning Rongrong, who was sitting on a big rock not far away and was thinking about life, heard him. You can't change your mind and eat. Zhu Zuqing glanced sideways slightly and said disdainfully. Her voice was already cold, and with these cold words, the temperature around her dropped a bit. You. Dai Mubai held Tang San with his left hand, and couldn't help but wave his right hand out, preparing to slap Zhu Zuqing. Unable to stop Tang San, Dai Mubai stopped for some reason. Hit, you should fight. Zhu Zuqing said indifferently, it doesn't matter that people like Dai Mubai are scum, but they still beat women. Xiaowu stood aside and blinked, looking confused and confused. What's going on? Do Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing know each other? What is their situation now? Why are you suddenly ready to take action? As a woman, Xiaowu naturally couldn't stand Dai Mubai's style. She didn't take it too seriously and said, Dai Mubai, what are you going to do to Zhu Qing, you scumbag? Are you still going to hit a woman? You are just not a human being. I can't love you, what other reason could there be? Ning Rongrong's voice also sounded at this time. There were only 2 men around, one was still in a coma, and 3 girls were mocking Dai Mubai. How could Dai Mubai endure this? He has a bad temper and doesn't like to use his brain to think about problems. Coupled with his own resentment, his anger is even worse. Can't stand it at all. What does the matter between me and Zhu Zuqing have to do with you? Xiao Wu, I'll give Tang San face and not argue with you. Ning Rongrong, don't think that if you are from the Qibao glazed sect, I, Dai Mubai, will be afraid of you. Others are afraid of you, but I'm not afraid. If you dare to say more, I will kill you directly. Dai Mubai said angrily. He had never thought at all, is Ning Rongrong just a direct descendant of the 7 Treasures glazed sect? Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 24. 2 women leave Shrek Academy. Yo yo yo. You dare to do it but don't take it seriously, I'm directly threatening you. I, Ning Rongrong, have never been afraid of anyone in my whole life, but you are here to kill me. Ning Rongrong looked disdainful and did not take Dai Mubai seriously at all. She had forgotten that she was just an auxiliary soul master. If no one protected her secretly, she would definitely die in this situation. Auxiliary soul masters provoke attack soul masters. This is an irrational approach, but the environment in which Ning Rongrong lives has made her develop the nature of a witch. Everyone spoils her, especially the 2 supreme elders, so she naturally has no fear. Ning Rongrong, this is not the Qibao glazed sect, no one will spoil you. So what if I kill you? Dai Mubai said fiercely. After hearing this, Ning Rongrong finally felt a little scared. She had indeed forgotten that this was not the Qibao glazed sect, and no one would pamper her. But as the eldest lady of the Qibao glazed sect, she naturally cannot be timid. Come on, kill me. Quote. Xiaowu and Zhu Zuqing were stunned when they saw such a strong Ning Rongrong. Yesterday I was still a good girl, but today I have completely changed. I really. Ning Rongrong, this is between me and Dai Mubai. You should go first. If Dai Mubai really wanted to kill Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zuqing couldn't stop him at all. She didn't have the strength. But Ning Rongrong came forward for her sake. She didn't want Ning Rongrong to get hurt. Zhu Zuqing, this has nothing to do with you. I have long been unhappy with Dai Mubai, a little yellow guy. Ning Rongrong waved her hand, rejected Zhu Zuqing's proposal and said. She, Ning Rongrong, was just unhappy with Dai Mubai and had nothing to hide. But you are an auxiliary soul master. It's okay, I'll help you, let's beat the paper tiger together. Dai Mubai. Do you really think he doesn't exist? Without Tang San stopping this farce and giving both sides a step down, things would only get worse. Dai Mubai is the kind of person who never admits his mistakes. Unless he can beat him, otherwise, he will not know that he is wrong at all. It is Dai Mubai's nature to bully the weak and fear the strong. Okay, I'm young enough to see what kind of strength you have. After saying this, Dai Mubai threw Tang San into the grass, and then directly released his martial spirit. Possessed by a martial spirit. Third brother. Damn you, Dai Mubai, you actually do this to third brother. Possessed by a martial spirit. Dai Mubai was also helpless. He was holding Tang San, how could he fight? He didn't throw Tang San directly to the ground, but into the grass. He had already paid great attention to the details. But this Xiao Wu is unreasonable at all. Xiao Wu, stop messing around, don't blame me for not giving Tang San face. You still say I'm fooling around. When did Sister Xiao Wu act up? Ning Rongrong, if you give me Zhu Zuqing's boost, we can't defeat that bear, how can we defeat this paper tiger? After hearing this, Ning Rongrong directly released his martial soul without thinking, and used his soul skills on Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing. The 7 treasures have names, one is, power. The 7 treasures are famous, and the second one is, speed. With Ning Rongrong's increase, at this moment, Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing have reached the soul master level in terms of strength and speed. Sisters, beat him. Dai Mubai. He never imagined that things would develop in this direction. Facing the attacks of Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing, supported by a 7 treasures glazed tower, even Dai Mubai, who was level 37, couldn't help but panic in such an attack. Time passed, and Dai Mubai lay on the ground with a bruised nose and swollen face. His body was covered in paint and he was seriously injured. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing are slightly better. Although they have failed, they are not like Dai Mubai. What should we do in the future? Zhu Zuqing thought secretly in his heart. Zhu Zuqing, this young lady from Shrek Academy can't stay here any longer. She's either a scumbag or a bad person. She's the kind of person who gets hooked up at a young age. How about you go to the 7 treasures glazed sect with me? Although I don't know what is going on between you and Dai Mubai, but as long as you come to the 7 treasures glazed sect, he will never dare to cause trouble for you. What kind of broken academy? What kind of monster academy? None of them are normal. Ning Rongrong said while scolding. Suddenly, she seemed to have thought of something, and said to Xiao Wu, why don't you go to Qibao glazed sect with me? What's the benefit of this crappy academy? They are completely liars, and they teach monsters. If geniuses like us hadn't been deceived, they would have taught nothing. It was not that the academy taught the monster, but that the monster was tricked into coming to the academy. After hearing this, Xiao Wu thought for a moment and shook her head quickly. She still knew about the 7 treasures glazed sect. It was a double Douluo. Wasn't she looking for death by going to the 7 treasures glazed sect? Thank you very much Ning Rongrong for your kindness, I won't go. You can't go. If you go, you're courting death. Ning Rongrong was stunned. She didn't expect that she would be rejected by Xiao Wu. She opened her mouth slightly but stopped talking. You know, how many soul masters in this world want to join the Qibao glazed sect, but are turned away. Zhu Zuqing's eyes lit up after hearing Ning Rongrong's words. Ning Rongrong, can the 7 treasures glazed sect really help me get rid of Dai Mubai? At this time, Ning Rongrong still didn't know how much trouble she had caused. She said nonchalantly, of course. Okay, I can go to the Qibao glazed sect with you, but the Qibao glazed sect must help me solve the trouble of joining the Qibao glazed sect, and I will make the decision on my marriage. Zhu Zuqing nodded quickly and said. There is no other way but to treat a dead horse as a living horse doctor. I hope Ning Rongrong can speak up in the Qibao glazed sect. Taking action against Dai Mubai would be equivalent to betraying the Xinglo royal family and the Zhu family. She would not end well, so she might as well give it a try and see if she had a chance to survive. Sure. Ning Rongrong was very happy that Zhu Zuqing was willing to go with her. This was the first genius she had recruited for her sect. Ning Fengji, Chen Xin, Ji Yu Rong. There is no need for such a genius. Don't come over here. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing didn't even go back to the dormitory to pack their things and walked directly towards Soto City. Xiao Wu helped Tang San up in the grass and took him back to Tang San's dormitory. As for Dai Mubai, no one cares what happens to him. By the way, Zuqing, what's going on with you and Dai Mubai? Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing were walking on the road. Suddenly, Ning Rongrong asked. Since he wanted to help Zhu Zuqing deal with the trouble, he naturally had to ask clearly about the situation. After hearing this, Zhu Zuqing also explained his and Dai Mubai's life experience, as well as the engagement. Forehead. Ning Rongrong's eyes twitched. She suddenly regretted recruiting Zhu Zuqing. After returning to Qibao Glazed Sect, she wouldn't be scolded to death, right? 25. Both good and fun-loving. The screen changed to the Soul Fighting Arena. Navalette didn't know what happened to everyone in Shrek. After the spirit fight was over, he was taking stock of today's gains. Calculated by the speed of cultivation, his gains today are equivalent to the sum of half a month of normal cultivation. You must know that he is different from a normal soul master. Not only can he practice by himself, but he also has buffs. It can be said to be a full harvest. Little Navi, how does it feel to be a referee? I heard that you showed off your skills today. At this time, Dudu walked into Navalette's room and said with a smile. She was afraid that Villette would not be used to it, but unexpectedly, he actually showed his hand and added a rule. This regulation is recognized by the fighting spirit arena, but it is not recommended because the audience likes to see some mocking words. This regulation will only take effect when the magistrate Navalette comes on stage. Sister Dudu, please sit down. After Navalette saw the person coming, he came back from his thoughts and said. It's not that I have to show off. If I don't stop him, Tang San will definitely kill those two people. That's two lives. They have already admitted defeat, so naturally they can't let Tang San's players commit crimes. If they die, most of the players will doubt the fairness of the spirit arena. After Dudu sat down, he smiled helplessly after hearing these words. The soul fighting arena is indeed fair, but when a player's winning rate is too high, in order to protect the interests of the soul fighting arena, they will operate in secret to make it more difficult for the players. This point has long been known to Dudu, who has been in the spirit fighting arena for so many years. Besides, the soul fighting arena is our own property. Sister, I didn't come here just to ask questions. You are so strong. Why do you never take part in competitions between family members? Dudu asked doubtfully. The 8 major families are connected by the same spirit. They are truly connected by the same spirit, regardless of each other. When they occasionally get together, the juniors will fight each other to add to the fun. However, Navalette has never played on the court. If he hadn't taken action today, no one would know what his strength is. Navalette, is it possible that it's just because it's too strong that it's not played? Here, I have no interest in fighting. Villette said with a calm heart. After hearing this, Dudu's eyes twitched. Yes, you are not interested in fighting, and then he jumped up tens of meters and knocked people unconscious. If you are interested in fighting, you may not be able to fly into the sky and stand side by side with the sun. Navalette has already reached the soul master level at a young age. He is worthy of being a genius with innate soul power, and a monster. Although the 8 major families have big families and great businesses, they don't have any innate geniuses. Navalette is a pioneer. However, no one knows that Villette's innate soul power is not level 10, but level 20. Little Nawe, you should rest first. You have been busy today. You will not go on stage to host the spirit battle tomorrow and have a day off. After hearing this, Villette was stunned. How could he suddenly ask him to rest? He is not tired at all. What is there to rest for? Villette is indeed not tired, but the staff of the soul fighting field are terribly tired. Because of him, there are too many spectators and contestants today. Some of the presenters were even speechless. You can imagine how stressful it is. Pain and happiness. The more people there are, the more the soul fighting arena will make, and the higher their income will be. However, who can bear this every day? There was no other way, since Dudu and Navalette were relatively familiar with each other, so everyone begged Dudu to let Navalette not play tomorrow and let everyone take a break. After hearing Dudu's explanation, Villette's eyes twitched. He relied on his strength and didn't have to say anything, so he was really not tired. But other staff members couldn't stand it. There is no way around this. Okay, then I'll have a day off tomorrow. The higher the benefit, the better, but no one can accept this benefit. This is 20,000 gold soul coins, which is considered as the reward and dividend for using your fame to attract guests tonight. Dudu knows that Navalette is not short of money, but he still has to give what should be given, otherwise, even if Navalette has no objections, other employees will have objections. Navalette was stunned. It turns out that the reason why there are so many people tonight is that the Arena of Souls used him to promote it. Hello guys, a road never imagined. The fighting spirit arena is still very business-minded, and this wave of dividends was taken directly. Villette is not embarrassed either. Although 20,000 gold soul coins are nothing, he deserves it. After taking the gold card, Navalette said, "Thank you, Sister Dudu, for bringing it to me. You're welcome, you deserve this. Go to bed early, little Navi, my sister is also very tired today." Dudu waved his hand, gave Navalette a wink, then turned and walked out of the house. Teasing Navalette, she did it a few years ago. Don't tell me, it's really interesting. Navalette, have you ever thought about the feelings of the person involved? He was too embarrassed to expose Dudu, was she teasing? Obviously just after his body. PFF'd, little Nawe, you have been molested by your half-sister again. Suddenly, Fukalos' laughter sounded in his mind, which made Navalette frown. This short-lived wife was so naughty. When she returns to her human form, he must come back with revenge. Navalette subconsciously said in his mind, Fukalos, that's enough. Wait for you. Before Villette could finish her words, Fukalos panicked, and thoughts of how Villette would bully her kept flashing through her mind, and she quickly said, "You guy, okay, I won't tease you." Quote. HMPH, it's too late. The corners of Villette's mouth raised slightly, and his eyes were full of determination. Just Fukalos, isn't that a casual suppression? Oh my god, that Villette collapsed. Fukalos secretly thought. At some point, she got used to this feeling, and she felt a little secretly happy in her heart. Commonly known as, good at cooking and fun-loving. But she has a bit of a human side, that is, Funina's character. When she became a god, she separated her humanity and divinity. The human side became Funina, and the divinity became Fukalos. The one who died was only Fukalos and had nothing to do with Funina. After Fukalos was reunited, and following Navalette over the years, he had a faintly human side. Like Funina, she is a fun-loving person with a lot of inner activities. After all, Funina is the human side of Fukalos. After regaining some humanity, some of Funina's characters are also normal. Chapter 26, he was so wrong that he cried like a child. In a blink of an eye, it was the next day. Having a rest today, Navalette originally wanted to stay in the spirit fighting arena to watch the spirit fighting and learn how other referees and hosts worked. However, in everyone's resentful eyes, he had to leave the soul fighting arena and go shopping elsewhere. The entire city of Soto is neither too big nor too small. Navalette is already very familiar with it these days. The hustle and bustle in the city made Navalette feel a little uncomfortable, so he naturally left Soto City and walked toward the outskirts where there was running water. Over at Shrek Academy, Flanders was stunned when he saw Dai Mubai's miserable condition. Dai Mubai was discovered by Ma Hongjun and Oscar when they returned from Soto City this morning. At that time, Dai Mubai was lying in a pool of blood, which really shocked the two of them. Cough, cough, cough. I don't know how long it took for Dai Mubai to wake up. Mubai, what's going on with you? Who beat you like this? Flender asked solemnly. A trace of anger flashed in his eyes. No one dared to come to Shrek Academy to cause trouble. What puzzled him was that after Dai Mubai was beaten like this, Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong were missing, but Tang San and Xiaowu were still in the academy. What happened last night? Yuan, Dean. Dai Mubai said feebly. Dean, it's that. Zhu Zuqing, Ning Rongrong, Xiaowu, they besieged me. Ahem, poof. After saying this, Dai Mubai spat out a mouthful of blood again. Most of the credit for the injuries on his body belonged to Xiaowu. That explosive 8-stage throw almost killed him. After hearing this, Flanders fell silent, and the people around him were also silent. They are full of questions. Why did Zhu Zuqing, Ning Rongrong, Xiaowu and the others besiege Dai Mubai? Isn't this arousing public outrage? Looking at Dai Mubai's miserable state, Flanders thought for a moment and said, Hongjun, go find Xiaowu, I want to ask about the situation. If Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong are here, call over. Is teacher. Ma Hongjun said quickly. He knew that his teacher was very angry now, because Shrek Academy forbids students from killing each other, not to mention, Dai Mubai was almost beaten to death. But before Ma Hongjun could go out, Tang San came over angrily with Xiao Wu. Dai Mubai, why did you attack Xiao Wu? When he woke up, he found Xiao Wu in confusion. Before he could ask anything, he found out that Xiao Wu had failed. How could the wife-protecting demon, Tang San, endure this? After asking, I found out that it was Dai Mubai who was responsible. Is this a good thing? You have nothing to do here, go find Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong. After hearing this, Ma Hongjun came back to his senses and said quickly, okay, teacher. After saying this, Ma Hongjun ran towards the two girls' dormitory without looking back. Tang San also came to Dai Mubai's room at this time. His face was filled with murderous intent and his eyes were red. Xiao Wu stood behind him silently and said nothing. Quote. After entering the room, Tang San realized that something was wrong with the atmosphere, and looked at Dai Mubai who was vomiting blood. His mind was filled with questions, what's going on? Dai Mubai's injuries at this time seemed to be much more serious than Xiao Wu's, a lot. Xiao Wu was only slightly injured. Dai Mubai was seriously injured. It looked like he would die if not treated in time. Tang San, look at me, do I look like I'm attacking her? Dai Mubai was aggrieved and anxious. It was obvious that he was being besieged, but Tang San was confusing right and wrong. Tears streaked down my cheeks. They say that men don't shed tears easily, but they are not sad yet. Besieged by his fiancée and two outsiders, Dai Mubai found it difficult to say such embarrassing words. Tang San was silent. He looked back at Xiao Wu behind him, and then at Dai Mubai, who was crying. Then, you shouldn't hurt Xiao Wu either. She is so cute, she will never make the first move. It must be you who beat you like this. Tang San said tentatively. Although his words were a bit unreasonable, his tone was much calmer and he didn't even dare to speak too loudly. Me, my reason. Dai Mubai looked confused, his whole body felt numb. He had a quarrel with his fiancée, and as a result, Xiao Wu and Ning Rongrong came up to scold him indiscriminately. Can this be tolerated? Dai Mubai simply couldn't bear it. Also, for Tang San's sake, he forgave Xiao Wu twice, but this woman was unreasonable at all, and all she did was kill her. If he hadn't been so powerful and used his soul power to seal his heart veins, he would have been cold by now. Tang San, do you want to listen to what you are saying? Dai Mubai roared in his heart, and this anger made him spit out a mouthful of blood again. Even Flanders and others can't stand it anymore. Xiao Wu, tell the truth, what happened last night, and why did you beat Dai Mubai like this? Flander pushed up his glasses and said solemnly, and then there was an invisible pressure coming towards Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu trembled. In the past, she could easily destroy any soul saint. However, things were different now. She couldn't defeat a soul saint, not to mention a soul sect, even a soul king. After thinking for a while, Xiao Wu said truthfully, when everyone came back last night, they all walked to the entrance of the college. Dai Mubai suddenly went crazy and questioned Zhu Zuqing. After explaining the matter, Xiao Wu did not forget to say, why does Dai Mubai look down on women and hit them? Sister Xiao Wu just can't stand it. Ning Rongrong treated me and Zhu Zuqing, and Dai Mubai was careless for a while, and then he became like this. After hearing Xiao Wu's words, everyone frowned. They knew that Dai Mubai was just making a quick statement and did not mean to insult him. However, for Xiao Wu and the others, Dai Mubai's behavior really deserves a beating. Where are Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong? Where have they gone? Flender's face looked a little better. There was a reason for the incident, so it was still okay. They went to Qibao Glazed Sect. Xiao Wu told the truth. Flender, Oscar and Dai Mubai were also stunned. They didn't expect the two women to flee in fear of crime and ran to Qibao Luli. After hearing this, Flanders couldn't help but sweat broke out on his forehead. Just in case, he meant just in case. If Bone Douluo knew what happened to Ning Rongrong at Shrek Academy, and Dai Mubai even threatened to kill her, would it be possible for Shrek Academy to still exist? 27. Lexius doubts. Dean, you are sweating profusely. Oscar reminded in a low voice. Others don't know Ning Rongrong's identity, but Flanders does. Hearing Oscar's voice, Flanders came back from his trance and sighed secretly in his heart. He just hoped that they could be reasonable. Flanders calmly wiped the sweat from his forehead, and then Flanders' expression returned to normal. Xiao Wu, Dai Mubai is still your classmate. No matter what, you shouldn't beat him like this. Dean, if I don't hit him, he will just slap Zhu Zuqing. Can I not hit him? Xiao Wu was not stupid, so she asked. This. Flanders' mouth opened slightly, but he stopped talking. He wanted to educate Xiao Wu and punish her a little, and then the matter would be over. Dai Mubai was seriously injured after all. But what Xiao Wu said makes sense. After all, it was Dai Mubai who prepared to beat Zhu Zuqing first. They were both women, so it was normal for them to help Zhu Zuqing. Xiao Wu, my fiancé and I were quarreling, Guan, it's none of your business. Dai Mubai used up all his strength and roared. He is really numb, one or both of them are unreasonable. Question mark. Quote. Xiao Wu was stunned and asked subconsciously, is Zhu Zuqing your fiancé? Yes. Everyone was stunned. They really didn't know about this. Even Flanders only realized it at this time. Xinglo Dai family, Zhu family, evil-eyed white tiger, ghost civet cat. Netherworld white tiger. Good guy, Zhu Zuqing is really Dai Mubai's fiancé. Oscar gave Dai Mubai a strange look. He didn't cherish such a beautiful fiancé, but provoked those vulgar fans. Dai Mubai must be sick. He may have some serious illness. Then you can't hit her. It's obviously your own fault. It's normal for people to get angry if you mess around with others. I didn't mean to hit her at all, I just scared her. Xiao Wu. Can girls be scared? Dai Mubai. He couldn't answer these words, so he closed his eyes directly. Zhu Zuqing actually went to Qibao Glazed sect with Ning Rongrong. Isn't she afraid of being hunted down by her family? Dai Mubai still felt a little guilty about Zhu Zuqing, but his temper was like this, and Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu added fuel to the fire, which led to a fight and parting ways. We have traveled thousands of miles from the Star Luo Empire to the Tiando Empire. It would be a lie to say that we are not touched by such a long distance. Dai Mubai was ready to turn around and work hard with Zhu Zuqing to see if he had a chance to defeat Davis and Zhu Zuyun. But in the end, Zhu Zuqing ran away. That's it for today. Let's all go back and recuperate, and let Mubai rest in peace. As the noise continues, this place will become a vegetable market. After knowing the reason, Flanders just shook his head helplessly. I thought Dai Mubai was attacked by an outsider, but I didn't expect that it was one of my own. Forget it, both sides still make sense. This kind of thing must never happen again. It won't be an example next time. There is no other way. Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong have already left Shrek Academy. Even if Flanders had more courage, he would not dare to chase these two. As for Xiao Wu, if he drives her away, Tang San will definitely leave. Even Shrek Academy cannot bear the anger of Haoshan Douluo. Zhao Wuji is still lying down at this time. He was injured more seriously than Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai was very unconvinced when Flanders said this. Why not just drive Xiao Wu away? But, Flanders has said so, what can he do? Sighed in his heart, he buried his resentment deep in his heart. Tang San, Xiao Wu, Zhu Zuqing, Ning Rongrong, just wait. As for why Tang San was the first, it was because of what Tang San said before. The scene changed to Navalet's side. After leaving Soto City, Navalet walked towards the location in his memory. After almost half an hour, he arrived at a small river. This is the place he often came to before. It is surrounded by green mountains and green water, and the river is clear and not polluted. As soon as he arrived, Villette saw an old man sitting there fishing leisurely. Grandpa, is there anything gained? The old man in front of me is none other than Lexius, who adopted Navalet. Little Navi, you're here. Are you not used to the life in the city? Lexius held the fishing rod in one hand and turned to Navalet with a smile. Of course there will be gains, and it's not like you don't know my skills. Go to sit next to Lexius. There is an extra stool here. Needless to say, Lexius left it specially for him. It's a bit unaccustomed, but being a referee is good. I like this profession very much. After sitting down, Navalet faced the river and said in a calm tone. It's fine if you like it. I'm worried that you might not be able to adapt to it. After all, you like silence. It's normal for you to be uncomfortable in a noisy place like the soul fighting arena. Lexius nodded, very pleased. He did not make any plans for Navalet's life, everything was up to Navalet's own choice. If cultivation fails, inheriting his pocket money will be enough for Villet to live happily for the rest of his life. But Navalet's cultivation talent is truly incredible, and this path is obviously not suitable for him. Now Lexius is just waiting for an opportunity, waiting for Villet to practice Contra or titled Douluo. In that case, even if he dies, he will still be happy. Once Navalet has mastered Contra, he will be able to inherit all of Lexius's property, as well as his share of the soul arena, including his status. If Navalet cultivates to the level of a titled Douluo, a commander may emerge from the 8 major families. A nearly invincible commander. You must know that Villet is a twin martial spirit. As long as his second martial soul has 9 soul rings that are over 50,000 years old, he will be invincible in the world. Don't worry, Grandpa, I'm not a child anymore. I know what I want. Navalet said with firm eyes. Lexius smiled. He couldn't be more satisfied with this adopted grandson. Perhaps this is God's compensation for him. Suddenly, Villet seemed to have thought of something and said to Lexius, Grandpa, do you have any way to contact Dugu Bo, Jade Scale Poisoned Douluo? After hearing this, Lexius was slightly stunned, then put down the fishing rod in his hand, and said with a serious face, Dugu Bo is a publicly titled Douluo in the Tiando Empire, grandson, you contact him. What are you going to do? This person has a weird personality and is hard to figure out. He is not a reasonable person. Contact with him will not be worth the gain. Hearing what Lexius said, Villet understood. If he really wanted to contact Dugu Bo, Lexius could do it. Chapter 28. Don't tell me, they really ran away. Grandpa, I have something that I need to discuss privately with Dugu Bo. Navalet didn't say what it was about, and Lexius didn't ask, but stared at Navalet with burning eyes. After a long while, Lexius said, do you have to go? Dugu Bo is not an easy person to get along with. He is more like a poisonous snake. I am no longer a child. Dugu Bo has something in his hand that can help you break through to the title Douluo. Here, Navalet told a lie that was not a lie. In the eyes of ice and fire, there was indeed an immortal grass that could allow Lexius to break through. After hearing this, Lexius was stunned for a moment, and then the aura belonging to his peak soul Douluo burst out. If it were ordinary soul lords and soul sects, even this aura would not be something they could withstand. Soon, Lexius reacted and quickly put away his momentum. If there is danger, it's okay not to give up this title. Lexius did not suspect that Villet was joking, titled Douluo. How many obstacles a peak Contra cannot overcome in his life? How could Dugu Bo come up with something that could break through the ban so easily? Dugu Bo is indeed not a powerful being among titled Douluo, but for forces without titled Douluo, Dugu Bo is a much greater threat than other titled Douluo. He can kill only the titled Douluo. Don't worry, I know what Dugu Bo needs most at this time. There is absolutely no danger. The corners of Villet's mouth raised slightly, looking a little confident. This was to give Lexius confidence, not to himself. Quote. After being silent for a long time, Lexius said, if you have nothing else to do with him, leave it to me to handle it now. You can't be in danger. Navalet. Did he say that he wanted to obtain the ice and fire eyes? Maybe this miracle will be lost. It's some private matters. Navalet answered truthfully. After hearing this, Lexius nodded. He didn't ask what the private matter was, and if Villet didn't tell him, he wouldn't ask. Everyone has his or her own secrets. Okay, Grandpa will help you contact me, and you will have the result within a month at most. Dugu Bo is in Tiando City, and the distance from Sotuo City to Tiando City is very far. In the original work, it took Tang San and the others a whole month to get to Tiando City. One can only imagine how far it was. Although Lexius was a little confused about how Villet knew about Dugu Bo and knew so many things, he didn't ask at all. Just like Villet's soul ring, it can be hidden. Is that really a soul ring? Getting along with Navalet day and night, Lexius asked himself. No matter what, he only knows that Villet is his adopted grandson, who has a big secret but is very filial. This is enough. Time passed. After having lunch with Lexius and strolling by the river, Villet said goodbye to Lexius and walked towards Soto City. The greatest characteristic of the old man is his indifference, which is the accomplishment of an absolutely neutral family patriarch. Doesn't he want to know? He thinks. But it's best to just not know and pretend to be confused. As soon as he reached the gate of Soto City, Navalette saw Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing, who was slightly injured. This scene made Navalette a little confused. What's the situation? Zhu Zuqing was not injured during the spirit fight last night. What's going on here? Bilette's mind was full of questions, but she didn't say anything. Navalette. Ning Rongrong was very happy to see Bilette at this time, because they were going back to Tiando City. I don't know when we will see each other again after this journey. The Qibao Glazed Sect is located on a mountain range outside Tiando City. The road is far away and cannot be reached in a short while. Let's go back to the Qibao Glazed Sect first to see if her father, Ning Fengji, can solve Zhu Zuqing's problem. After all, this is the first genius she has recruited for the Qibao Glazed Sect. Even if she is crying for Grandpa Sword and Grandpa Bone, she must help Zhu Zuqing solve his worries. Hey, who knew Zhu Zuqing's background would be so great? If Dai Mubai wins, she will be the queen of the Star Luo Empire. Ning Rongrong felt like crying but had no tears in her heart. She had already thought of Ning Fengji's dark face. But she was Ning Rongrong, and the words she said were like water thrown out, and it was difficult to collect the water. Hello, Miss Ning Rongrong. Miss Zhu Zuqing. Navalette nodded and said without changing his expression. Hello, Navalette. Zhu Zuqing said softly, his voice less cold than usual, but more pleasant to the ear. Ning Rongrong was stunned. Zhu Zuqing and Navalette also knew each other. After thinking for a moment, she simply ignored the question. Bilette, I didn't expect to see you before I left. I'm so happy. Ning Rongrong said excitedly like a little fangirl. She originally wanted to recruit Navalette to the Seven Treasures Glazed Sect and be her guardian husband, but unfortunately, now is not the time. There is still a long way to go anyway. I will just come back after I finish dealing with Zhu Zuqing's affairs. Oh, are you going back to Shrek Academy? No, who would go back to that shabby academy? As soon as Bilette finished speaking, Ning Rongrong quickly explained. Shrek Academy is a liar academy, and those slogans are all lies. It's a pity that I didn't bring anyone with me, otherwise I would have. Ahem, no, I'm not usually like this. Ning Rongrong's face turned red. She wanted to say that she would smash Shrek, a shabby academy, but it was not good to say this in front of Bilette. Zuqing has agreed to join our Qibao Glazed Sect. I will take her back to the sect to recognize her. When we have the chance, we will come to Soto City again. As soon as Ning Rongrong said these words, everyone in Bilette went numb. Good guy, how could Zhu Zuqing leave Shrek Academy? Wait, this is still a trivial matter. How could she betray her family, betray the Xinglo royal family, and join the Seven Treasures Glazed Sect? What happened in the meantime? Navalette didn't know that all of this had to start when he knocked Tang San unconscious. Without Tang San as a peacemaker, Dai Mubai directly aroused public anger. Although I really want to know what happened, it is not his character to ask these questions. Well, you're always welcome. I see that Miss Zhu Zuqing seems to be injured. Why don't you wait until the injury is healed before you go back? Bilette said doubtfully, they wouldn't run away so quickly after leaving Shrek Academy, right? Don't tell me, they really ran away. I'm afraid that the teachers at Shrek Academy don't respect martial ethics. Forehead. The two women lowered their heads, a little embarrassed. No, no need, I'm only slightly injured. Zhu Zuqing said softly. Chapter 29. Tide, wait for my return. Seeing the appearance of Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong, Navalette was thoughtful. After thinking for a moment, Bilette shook his head. Whatever happens to them has nothing to do with him. Now he should think carefully about how he should retaliate against her after Fukalos is resurrected. Going to find Dugu Bo is for the energy in the eyes of ice and fire. As long as the energy is enough, Fukalos will be able to transform into a human form again. If you were originally Bilette, then you would have to settle the accounts with Fukalos for the past 500 years. How many children should we have to end this feud? No, this grudge will never end. His wife, who was finally resurrected, cannot be so easily. Fukalos. Family members, I'm so panicked. 500 years. Monkeys are making a big fuss in the heavenly palace, but they have only been imprisoned for 500 years. For 500 years, this account is not light. After thinking about it, Villette suddenly said to Fukalos, who was in the sea of consciousness, Fukalos, don't speak for now. I know what you are thinking. I also know you know what I'm thinking. After 500 years of deception, are you going to create a few little dragons or a few pure water elves with me? It won't take long before I can help you find enough energy. By then, Jia. Fukalos currently does not have a specific form. If he had one, his face would probably be scarlet. There are not many truths in this world. A woman's blush is worth more than a long paragraph of dialogue. Fang is one of the most beautiful women in the world when she lowers her head and cannot see her toes. It's not that she really can't see her toes, it's because she lowers her head but her eyes are still on you. Fukalos was even more panicked. Is Villette really broken? How about turning into a human form later? Even if there is enough energy, it is not enough. Right, that is it. Giving birth to a little pure water elf or something like that is something that Fukalos really doesn't dare to think about. Navalette, you should know that the pure water elves can activate curses, right? HMPH, be careful, I'll curse you. HMPH, even a mere water elf wants to curse this dragon king, but you are overestimating your capabilities. Quote. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing looked at each other, their beautiful eyes full of doubts. What happened to Villette? Why did it suddenly become a little weird? He smiled. The corner of his mouth tilted, and he smiled so sinisterly. It makes people feel chills on their backs and break out in cold sweats. Something feels very wrong. Good guy, the male instantly turned into a male XX. At this time, Navalette also came back to his senses. After seeing the confused expressions on Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong's faces, he twitched the corners of his eyes. Good guy, he got carried away. The image is completely ruined. Girls, I'm sorry, I just remembered something happy. Navalette was fine without an explanation. Once explained, Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong became even more confused. Good guy, while chatting with two beauties, he can still be distracted and think of some happy things. What the hell? What could be more important than chatting with them? A sense of frustration arises spontaneously. No, it's okay. Let's go first. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing said something, as if they had made up their minds, and ran away without looking back. Terrible. It's really terrible. Although Villette's smile just now was equally handsome, they always felt that it was like a curse, which would cause many, ahem. Wait a minute, why did they think this way? What gives birth to a lot? Is this really something they can think about at their age? At least, we have to wait until 6 years later, when we are 18 years old. Forehead. Navalette was stunned for a moment, and then said to Fukalos in his mind, Fukalos, was my smile really evil just now? Really, even I am trembling with fear. Fukalos replied immediately without even thinking about it, but her choice of words was a little inappropriate. Shaking. Not shaking at all. Only. Villette opened her mouth slightly, wanting to say something, but couldn't. Hey, the image that you have worked so hard to maintain collapses in an instant, which is really nerve-wracking. I sighed in my heart, and then murmured, forget it, it's not a big problem. What do they like? What did they have to do with me? Shaked his head, Villette didn't think much about it. Suddenly, Villette seemed to have thought of something, and his whole body was shaken. Wait a minute, that's not right, they are also members of the protagonist group, such a good leak, ran away. Navalette was stunned, and then he remembered that these two were members of the protagonist group, Good Leaks, and they left Soto City. He felt a little distressed when one person was missing, let alone two. His rapid improvement in cultivation depends entirely on the protagonist group. What a pity, what a pity. Don't run away with the remaining leaks, Shrek Academy is perfect for you. Navalette thought to himself. When he gets back, he will say hello to the Soul Fighting Arena. As long as Tang San and the others sign up, they will be sent to his branch. In 2 or 3 more games, he will be able to break through the current soul power level. Navalette was a little sad, 2 leaks ran away. As his mood changed, the sunny sky suddenly turned cloudy, as if it was about to rain. Even Fukalos was speechless. She didn't know, and thought that Villette was sad because of her sister's departure, but she knew it. This crybaby is actually feeling sad because, Leek, ran away. As for what? Wouldn't it be enough to wait a few hundred years? He is a dragon. Lifespan is endless. Hundreds of years are nothing. The leak is gone, just find it again. Besides, why is he working so hard to improve his strength? Can't figure it out. After a while, it began to rain lightly, and pedestrians began to take shelter from the rain. Who knows why it rained on such a sunny day? An old man selling an umbrella was very happy. He originally thought that the umbrella would not be sold today, but what happened? The rain came just in time. Navalette did not avoid the rain. If he had the choice, he would prefer to live in a place with water. Hand raised his right hand slightly, gently caressing the rain beside him, letting it flow through his fingertips. The rain is born in the sky and dies on the earth. The process in between is life. Water will turn into air, rise to the sky, accumulate small amounts into large amounts, and fall to the ground. It will be a new reincarnation. Douluo Continent, which has remained unchanged for thousands of years, should make some changes. Navalette murmured to himself, coming to Douluo Continent, as the supreme judge of Fontaine, he should bring absolute fairness and justice to the people of Douluo Continent. It's just that his current strength is not enough to subvert the entire continent and needs to be settled. Tide, wait for my return. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel 30. I won't allow you to speak ill of Villette. You mean I committed a foul, and then Villette jumped up, landed next to me and punched me, and I fainted. Tang San was a little unbelievable. He didn't know anything about what happened after he fainted, including how he fainted. Xiaowu told him what happened on the ring, and then he understood why he fainted. To this day, my head still hurts a little. Xiaowu blinked her beautiful pink eyes and nodded repeatedly. Tang San was numb, he couldn't accept this result. Foul, it is indeed a foul, because the opponent has already admitted defeat, but he feels that the opponent has a way to kill him. But what he couldn't accept was that Villette's ordinary punch knocked him unconscious to the ground. It's an ordinary punch without releasing any soul skills. The opponent was so fast that even Tang San couldn't react. You can only imagine how strong he was. 3 rings, Soul Master. No. Dai Mubai is almost at the top of the Soul Master level. I can deal with him, or even draw a tie. It's definitely the reason why Villette attacked me secretly. Bah, how can you talk about fairness and justice? Tang San didn't dodge when he attacked me secretly, and that's why he succeeded. Thinking of this, Tang San felt relieved instantly. He kept this grudge deeply in his mind. If there was a chance, he would definitely take revenge. Xiao Wu, that Villette is not a good person. He attacked me secretly and prevented me from avenging you. Don't deal with him in the future. Tang San said earnestly. These days, he has been irritated enough hearing Villette's name every day. Especially when Xiao Wu mentioned the other person's name, he always felt like his head was green. After hearing this, Xiao Wu suddenly lost his composure. What does it mean that Villette is not a good person? Maybe he is not a human being at all. A sneak attack on you. Even if that kind of being fights you openly, can you block the opponent's punch? It's not that Xiao Wu looks down on Tang San, it's because Villette is too powerful. Human beings may not be able to see through the nature of Villette's spirit rings, but Xiao Wu can sense that there is no resentment of the spirit beasts in those spirit rings. Those aqua blue soul rings are all fake. Third brother, I don't allow you to say anything bad about Villette. Xiao Wu said with a solemn face, then Villette might be the same as her, or a more powerful being than her, how could she not defend it? Question mark question mark question mark quote. As soon as these words came out, Tang San was stunned, and the corners of his eyes twitched. He is not allowed to speak ill of Villette. Good guy, are you still my Tang San's sister? Elbows turned out. Tang San had heard this saying before. If a married daughter throws water away, her elbows will turn outwards, and if a daughter is born, she will not be able to survive. Wait. However, he never expected that the sister he recognized would actually say such things to him. Is a relationship of more than 6 years not as good as a stranger who has only met 3 times? Tang San's heart was bleeding, and he clenched his fists tightly. He looked at Xiao Wu's determined eyes again, and finally loosened his fists. He almost gritted his teeth and said, Xiao Wu, listen to my advice. Don't listen, you is chanting sutras. Xiao Wu covered her ears and shook her head. Closing parenthesis. Tang San took a deep breath. Is this the girl's rebellious period? After all, he protected Xiao Wu so well that she had no idea that people's hearts were sinister. Third brother, Billet is really not what you think. He is just trying to maintain justice in the arena. What's wrong with him? When we go to the competition, we will inevitably get injured. Those two brothers have shown mercy to me, but you want to kill them. Isn't this repaying kindness with enmity? Xiao Wu, whose IQ is rarely online, said. Tang San's face turned green for a while, then white, and finally turned dark. The elbows are really turned out. Xiao Wu, stop talking. I do all this for you. I said I would protect you, but you were injured. Of course I will avenge you. Xiao Wu, do you know how sad you say that? Tang and the others were all numb. He really couldn't figure out why Xiao Wu became like this. Yes, Navalette. It must be Navalette. Ever since seeing Villette, Xiao Wu seemed to have changed into a different person. Without Navalette, Xiao Wu would still be the well-behaved sister she once was. With a sharp weapon in hand, the murderous intention arises. Xiao Wu curled her lips. Tang San actually blamed everything on her. For her. Everything for her. How sad he was. Wasn't he the one who asked her to go up? Also, she is just his sister. Is he too lenient? He even has to control who she associates with. Third brother, please go back first. I was injured when I beat Dai Mubai yesterday and I need to recover from my injuries. Xiao Wu said somewhat indifferently that once there is a rift in a relationship, it will be difficult to go back to the past. Different road non-phase plan. Forehead. Tang San was stunned. He was here to take care of Xiao Wu. However, Xiao Wu actually chased him away now. After thinking for a moment, Tang San calmed down and then said, Xiao Wu, you take good care of yourself first. I'll leave first. I'll bring you dinner later. After saying this, without waiting for Xiao Wu to say anything, Tang San turned around and left Xiao Wu's dormitory. After leaving the dormitory, Tang San's calm face instantly turned ferocious, his eyes were glowing red, and he murmured to himself, then Billet, I want you to die. Tang Hao secretly shook his head. Tang San was hit hard by this failure. That referee didn't do anything wrong. It's just his bad luck. It's his blessing to be the mistress's whetstone. This little rabbit is really like water. Yanghua, no better than Yin. It would be a good thing if Xiao San kills him. It's just a spirit fighting arena. 8 major families. They don't even have the power of a titled Douluo, so what if they kill their people? Tang Hao snorted coldly and raised the corners of his mouth slightly, showing great disdain. After a while, Tang Hao seemed to have thought of something and murmured, there is nothing going on here for the time being. With Flanders and others here, the mistress will not be in any danger. Let's go see Yin. He didn't believe that he was in the dark. How dare Flanders and others not protect Tang San? Even if Zhao Wuji was beaten to the point of barely breathing, he still didn't have the guts. Tang Hao doesn't follow Tang San every day, but these days are special. Tang San has just entered Shrek Academy, and he has already said, hello, to Flanders, so he doesn't need to worry about the rest. Just wait for Tang San to grow up, and if Xiao Wu doesn't fall in love with him, we can design a sacrifice for her. If she doesn't like Tang San anymore, then I'm sorry, just kill him and get the soul ring and soul bone. Humans and spirit beasts are inseparable, and it is only natural to kill the spirit beast. I believe Tang San will be able to understand by then. Chapter 31. I will personally execute your death sentence. The rain comes and stops at will, and there really is no pattern. However, the rainbow after the rain is so beautiful. Yeah, who knew it would only rain for a while? If I had known this, I wouldn't have bought an umbrella. Hearing the comments from the people around him, Billet helplessly spread his hands, admiring this beautiful moment. Wow, it's Navalette's husband. I didn't expect to meet my husband by chance. Is there anything wrong with my makeup today? A woman said to her companion beside her. The corner of his companion's mouth twitched, and after sizing him up for a moment, he said, it rained earlier, so there were some flowers. By the way, I am your husband. What? The makeup is off. I must not let my husband see me like this. Run, I have to run quickly. As for the last words of her companion, the woman automatically ignored them. Understand the pure white lily of the valley, become the pure white lily of the valley, and surpass the pure white lily of the valley. Bah, you're married and why are you calling me husband Villette? That's ours. Hearing this, everyone in Villette felt numb. Being liked is a good thing, but are these fans a little too crazy? Seeing that everyone looked at him with something wrong, Villette quickly turned around and walked out of the city. If he didn't leave, he would be sieged later. Besieged by female fans. Think about it carefully, it's very scary. Seeing Villette escape, in a panic, the pure white lilies of the valley smiled even more. They didn't notice the shouts, but they didn't catch up. Because, Navilette's combat prowess has been spread in Soto City. He is young, has a 3-ring soul master, and has good combat prowess. Time passes, and night falls. Navilette just returned from outside Soto City. He randomly found a place with a waterside to practice. When he opened his eyes again, it was already very late. Walking slowly on the street, there were not many pedestrians at this time, and the fighting spirit arena was also getting off work. Suddenly, Villette frowned. He heard the voice of, help. The voice was trembling, as if he was very panicked. Even if you scream, no one will come to save you. Navilette. Without thinking, Villette quickly walked towards the distance from where the sound came from, and saw an ugly guy in a black windbreaker looking at the girl in front of him with an evil smile. His eyes were filled with red light, and he was about to attack the girl, but he noticed Navilette coming over. Boy, don't mind your own business, there are some people you can't offend. The man in black said with some displeasure, if Villette leaves honestly, he is not going to take action. If Villette has no clue and plans to hero save the beauty, then it is no wonder that he is. Young people, don't be too impulsive if you don't understand the strength of your opponent. You are committing a crime. Navilette said calmly, as if he was no longer surprised. As his voice sounded, the girl who was in a panic before suddenly widened her eyes. She never thought that the person coming was actually Navilette. Lord Navilette, you. Needless to say, these criminals need to be tried. Navilette waved his hand. He also recognized who the girl was. He didn't expect that the man in black would dare to attack the staff of the soul fighting field. I didn't expect that you two actually know each other. Boy, don't be ungrateful. I advised you to leave out of kindness. Crime. Everyone has different purposes for practicing cultivation. I just have this hobby, so why not? She is just an ordinary person. Life and death are determined by the strong. Boy, maybe you have some strength, but you are definitely no match for me. The man in black said without any panic, as a soul master and a soul master of a high level, he has the capital to be proud of. Having a strong soul is not an excuse for you to do evil. I say you are guilty. Navilette said calmly, with a bit of anger in his words. This guy has no idea that he is the most hateful person. This kind of person is the most unwelcome existence even if he is locked up in prison. Being beaten or oppressed. Criminals are also divided into 3, 6 or 9 grades. Those who are prepared to take action against a girls will belong to the lowest grade. After hearing this, the face of the man in black became a little distorted, and his already very distorted face became even more ugly. Boy, even if I am guilty, what can you do? It will be easy for me to kill you. Oh, you don't know my name yet, listen carefully, my name is Beulah. Navilette. Who else does he think he is, unhappy? Isn't that the person who was crippled by Xiao Wu and Ma Hongjun in the original novel? I didn't expect to meet you here. So what if you're guilty? Since you won't leave, then don't leave. Beulah smiled evilly, and was about to release his martial spirit, beat this blind boy violently, and then check his mood whether to let him go. The girl was very panicked. Lord Villette was just a soul master, and the evil man in front of him probably had a high level of soul power. Could they really die here? There is no tribunal here, so we can't follow the procedures for the time being. Unhappy. In that case, let's go straight to the trial. Unhappiness, death penalty. With the moonlight, I saw Villette's serious look on his face, and he almost laughed out loud. The brat in front of me was actually sentenced to death. Ha ha ha. I'm in a good mood, I want to play this kind of trial game with you. You're really funny. Boy, the game is over. Beulah smiled evilly, and then he was covered in black gas. Yes, the game is over. Mr. Buell, I will personally execute your death sentence. Navilette nodded and said without changing his expression. Unhappy, many girls were harmed in the original novel. Such low-class people deserve to die. It's so funny that you're still playing this kind of house game when you're about to die. Look at me. PFF'd. Unhappily, his eyes widened and he squinted, with a look of disbelief on his face. He lowered his head and looked at his heart. Unexpectedly, a hand had pierced his heart. Villette stretched out his hand, holding a heart in his hand, and murmured, I thought the criminal's heart should be black, but your heart is still red. It doesn't suit you, so just destroy it. Bang. Bu Li's mouth opened slightly, but he stopped talking. He was speechless. Witness the other person crushing your heart with your own eyes. Navalette made a casual move, and a stream of water formed in the air, washing away the blood on his hand. As the supreme judge of Fontaine, although I cannot give the world absolute fairness, I can give the world justice that more people will recognize. Mr. Buell, your death deserves to be remembered by more people. Anyone who dares to do this should die. Chapter 32. Kill the Kunhai Monkey. Early the next morning, there was an uproar in the city of Soto. It was indeed an unhappy death, which not only made people happy, but also warned them. Bu, there is a famous flower picker in Soto City recently. His strength is unknown. He is probably at the soul sect stage. He has no other injuries on his body. Whoever kills him will kill him with one hit. This blow directly penetrated Bu Li's heart, and then crushed it into pieces. The whole process can be said to be very fast, and even the soul sect cannot react. First of all, we can rule out that this thing was done by a weapon soul master. This person's soul power level is at least level 60 and above. As everyone analyzed Bu Li's corpse, they came to a shocking conclusion. Ah, it's so satisfying, my daughter is, just, woo-woo. A middle-aged man burst into tears. No one knew what happened to his daughter. He is just an ordinary person, and so is his daughter. Maybe his daughter can become a soul master in her next life, because she has already died in this life. I don't know who did it. If I knew, I would set up a memorial tablet for him. Someone in the crowd cried. The reason why everyone was able to determine who the person in front of them was and why he died so quickly was because Bu Hu's body was hung up and there was his incriminating document beside him. Furthermore, it also says that if you encounter such people, you will not be lenient. The death of an evil soul master like Bu Li is a happy event for everyone. Except for the family members of the victim, naturally no one will dig into who killed Bu Li. Time goes back to last night. After Navalette executed Bu Luo, the staff of the soul fighting arena blinked in disbelief. Oh my god, although I don't know what level of soul master Bu Li is, his strength will definitely not be lower than that of the soul master, or even the soul sect. But Lord Villette was actually able to kill the opponent instantly. Wait a minute, Lord Villette kills people without blinking an eye. It can even be said that he is calm and has no reaction at all. Killing without joy is like squeezing an ant to death. What kind of person is he? Hello, you must be the girl Zifa, right? I hope I didn't scare you. Navalette turned around and said a little apologetically, this is a staff member of the soul fighting arena. He is really unhappy to encounter such a thing. Hello, Master Villette, I didn't expect that you would remember my name. I'm fine. Thank you for your help. Zifa was still a little frightened at this time. If Villette hadn't passed by, she didn't know what her fate would have been. Is there any difference in this life-saving grace? This is Zifa's heartfelt thanks. If she had known she would be in danger, she would not have come out of the staff dormitory. I didn't expect that the seemingly peaceful Soto City would have such a guy secretly. Zifa, as her name suggests, she has purple hair, has a good figure, and looks like a first-class existence among ordinary people. There are no ugly women who can work in the spirit fighting arena. After all, the emotions of the audience are very important. If they are ugly, will they still come to watch the spirit fighting? This is what I should do, no need to say thank you. Navalette waved her hand, as if she had thought of something, and continued, Miss Zifa, let me take you back to the dormitory first. You were very frightened today, so it's better to go to bed early. If you need to take leave tomorrow, I can do it for you. This girl also suffered an unreasonable disaster. She was targeted by a soul master with no bottom line like Bu Li. Her luck was really bad. Of course, Villette's passing by showed that her luck was not as bad as she thought. No, no need, Mr. Villette, I just need to take a rest today. Zifa quickly shook her head and waved her hands, rejecting the proposal. Tomorrow Navalette will be on the stage to host the game again, so she should be very busy. Since Zifa refused, Villette did not force it, nodded, and continued. In that case, I will send you back first. Thank you, Lord Navalite. After sending Zifa back to the dormitory of the Soul Fighting Arena, Navalite found the person in charge of the Soul Arena. After listening to Navalite's words, the person in charge broke out in a cold sweat. Others don't know Villette's identity, but he knows it. Young master, I'm going to crush that into ashes. Can the person responsible for this matter be blamed? He didn't expect to dare to take action against the staff of the Soul Fighting Arena, and Zifa didn't expect it either. But he was just eating the heart of a bear and the courage of a leopard. No need, just do as I say, this will kill the monkey. Even if I can only manage it for a while. Navalette shook his head and said. Yes. This is also the reason why even people who are not happy will be discovered even though they are already dead. Biyula also has two friends, one named Tianya and the other named Ekao. They were sweating coldly while standing in the crowd, and their backs felt cold. They knew Biyuli's strength, and anyone who could kill him instantly was definitely not someone they could offend. Ekao, do we want to bury Biyula? After all, brothers will die if they don't like it. If they can't rest in peace, they, who are brothers, are really not human beings. No, there's definitely someone watching here. If we make any move. Tianya didn't finish what he said, but why didn't Ekao understand what he meant? How can I not get my shoes wet if I often walk along the river? Biyula is really in trouble this time. Tianya, Ekao, Swan. Tianya Wuhun is a kitchen knife, there is nothing much to say. Ekao is different, his martial spirit is a swan. The inherited martial spirit of the Tiando royal family is none other than the swan. Let's go, leave Soto City first. If there is a chance in the future, we will come back to avenge Biyula. Ekao clenched his fist and whispered. Hearing this, Tianya didn't hesitate and nodded. The two of them slowly withdrew from the crowd and then walked towards the outside of Soto City. Soto City cannot stay any longer. Navalette recalled what happened last night. He was a little emotional. This was his first time to kill someone. As for why he acted so calmly, maybe it was because he was unhappy. There is no psychological burden at all to kill such a sinner. Villette, you have tried another case fairly. If I were to judge that person, he should be sentenced to death and then executed repeatedly. PFF'd. Navalette, who had a somewhat solemn expression at first, broke through his defense in an instant. He was already sentenced to death, and he was still executing it repeatedly. Should we resurrect the opponent, then kill him, resurrect him again, then kill him again? There are too many soul masters, and it is inevitable that there will be some miscellaneous people like this, even ordinary people are no exception. They should live freely under the law, but not with excessive freedom. 33. Father, is this really something we can see? At night, people who have worked hard all day rarely relax and rest. For a big city like Soto City, evening is just the beginning of the day. The lights in the city are brightly lit, no different from daytime. There are not many entertainment projects on Douluo Continent. The most famous project in the evening is nothing less than the spirit fighting in the spirit fighting arena. Most civilians cannot become soul masters. As long as they spend a small ticket fee, they can watch soul masters fight souls. This kind of thing is something that most civilians dare not even think about, but there is such a project in the soul fighting arena. This is also one of the reasons why the soul fighting arena has endured for so long. Great! My husband Naval will be hosting again today, I'm so excited. Didn't you see that the night before yesterday, a player named Shi-san made a foul, and my husband jumped up and punched the player, and then... Hearing the comments from the people around him, Tang San's face was filled with dark lines. He never imagined that one day he would become the background of someone else's story. How great it is to set off Villette. Is it impossible to get through this jumping punch? This Navalette has a way to die. And the audience. Tang San was already in a bad mood because of Xiao Wu's incident, but he was ridiculed by the audience. How could he bear it? Even being ridiculed by the concierge, Tang San believed that the other party had a plan to kill him. How could he endure such a bad breath? It's just that he may not be Villette's opponent now, and with his background in the spirit arena, Tang San doesn't dare to act rashly now. There are two reasons why I hate the soul fighting arena so much and still come to the soul fighting arena. 1. If you want to graduate from Shrek Academy, you must become a soul sect level expert before the age of 20. In addition, you must also obtain the silver badge of the soul fighting arena. Becoming a soul sect before the age of 20 was easy for Tang San, but it was the second requirement that made him a little unsure. Don't look at this small silver badge. Daimubai has been in the soul fighting arena for 3 years, but he is still only a bronze player. Tang San's idea is very simple. Before he reaches level 30, his opponent is just a great spirit master. If he can win as many games as possible, he can win as many games as possible. Second, it's because Tang San wants to make some extra money. As long as he wins a game, he can get 10 gold soul coins as a reward, and it will stack up with the winning streak. At the Great Soul Master level, you can only receive a subsidy of 10 gold soul coins from the Wuhun Palace every month. This amount of money is simply not enough. Tonight, the only person who came to the soul fighting arena with him was Ma Hongjun. Daimubai was seriously injured and couldn't move around at all, let alone come to the spirit fighting arena to fight spirits. Xiaowu was slightly injured, but it wasn't a big problem, but she still needed to recover for a few days. Oscar doesn't know what's going on. He has been practicing in seclusion and should be about to break through to level 30. Zhu Zuqing and Ning Rongrong left Shrek Academy and are now on their way to the Qibao Glazed sect. Only if Ma Hongjun had nothing to do, he would follow Tang San to the spirit fighting arena to practice. Of course, Ma Hongjun would subconsciously stay away from Tang San, but he had not forgotten that the night before yesterday, this guy had the idea of killing him and Oscar. Along the way, neither of them said a word, and they were very silent. In order not to listen to any gossip, Tang San silently went to the registration office to sign up. He was afraid that he would not be able to help but take action against those ordinary people. These people all have a plan for death. Not only do they judge people by their appearance, they also use him, Tang San, as a backdrop to slap others in the face. Even if this is the truth, he, Tang San, still won't accept it. He lost because he was attacked by surprise. Ma Hongjun also signed up, and then the two of them came to the players' rest area, where it was much quieter. Tang San, Ma Hongjun. This is not what Mr. Villette told me. It just so happens that they are all great soul masters. The person in charge of assigning which arena the contestants should go on murmured. In the morning, Navalette had told them that if someone came to the soul fighting field, they would be directly assigned to the side he was responsible for. This kind of thing does not violate the rules, nor does it violate justice. It is just changing the venue for the players. There is no difference between who is the host and who is the referee. The person in charge agreed wholeheartedly and wrote it down. In addition to the name of the person, there was also a code name. Thousand-armed Shura, evil-eyed white tiger, soft-boned charming rabbit and other code names. These code names have not yet been registered in the soul fighting arena, but if Villette said this, he must have a reason. On Villette's side, some people looked at the two girls on the stand speechlessly. Are they fighting souls? Are you still showing off your figure? What to look at? Look at your opponent. Why are you staring at me, the referee? Navalette spread his hands helplessly. The two of them did not violate the rules, they just disrespected the arena and their opponents. The audience and girls in the audience felt that these two contestants were too pretentious. They were not on stage to fight at all. Wherever there is a slight touch, just shout. It hurts. Two little bitches. The male audience members remained silent, but their throats kept rolling. They decided that from now on, Villette would be their big brother, and they must always come to support him. How could they enjoy such beautiful scenery without their elder brother? No, what big brother? Foster father. Time passed minute by minute, almost half an hour passed. Tang San, please go to arena number 8. As the broadcast sounded, Tang San, who was sitting on the chair, was stunned. Arena number 8. It's arena number 8 again. He frowned. To be honest, he has a shadow on arena number 8 now. When I came to the soul fighting arena the day before yesterday, There were two soul fighting matches, one 1v1 and one 2v2, both in the number 8 ring, and the referee was Navalet. Navalet. Speaking of this person, Tang San couldn't help but feel angry in his heart. He always felt that Villette was targeting him. I don't know if he is the referee in this game. Thinking of this, Tang San stood up and prepared to go to the 8th arena. Once new, twice familiar. He has been to arena number 8 twice, so he is naturally very familiar with it. Tang San, please go to arena number 8. Please invite contestant Ma Hongjun to go to arena number 8. Question mark question mark question mark quote. Tang San paused in his advance and subconsciously looked at Ma Hongjun, who also had a confused look on his face. Another civil war. His Tang San fought Zhu Zuqing for the first time. The second game against Ma Hongjun. You and I are both great soul masters and have the same badge level, so it's normal for us to be matched together. Ma Hongjun said after coming back to his senses. Fighting with Tang San. Isn't that just right? 2 days ago in the early morning, it was this guy and Xiao Wu who stopped his good deeds and beat him up. Just in time, old and new grudges were settled together. 34. The comments from these audiences have seriously affected my mood. Hey, are the leaks here? The unwavering face of Villette finally showed a smile. This wave should improve his strength. After a while, Tang San and Ma Hongjun arrived on the ring. The two of them stopped when they were 30 meters apart. 30 meters, for a great soul master, is only a short distance away. The reason why they are so far apart is because some soul masters are special and need special care. For example, some long-range soul masters will almost certainly lose once they are approached by an attack-type soul master. In order to change this phenomenon, the fighters are allowed to maintain a relatively fair distance. Hey, isn't this the player who committed the foul the day before yesterday? He was so cruel that his opponents even gave up and wanted to kill them. When you said that, I remembered it. This player is called Tang San. If husband Villette hadn't reacted quickly, the iron-blooded team would have suffered. It would be a pity for such a player not to participate in a life-and-death battle. There are not so many rules in a life-and-death battle. Of course, if he participates in a life-and-death battle with his strength, he will never come back. It's just a matter of bullying an honest person. This Tang San player has no martial ethics at all. Listening to the audience's comments, Tang San felt like his head was getting bigger. He thinks he is a gentleman, how could he be a villain? If the Iron Blood team hadn't injured Xiao Wu, how could he think that the other party had a way to kill him? It's all the iron-blooded combination's fault, it's all Navalet's fault. Wait a minute, doesn't it mean that spectators cannot interfere with the players? These people are pointing fingers at him, Tang San, and slandering him, so is the referee, Villette can't take care of it. When it was useless, Tang San thought that Navalet, the referee, was very redundant and should not appear. At this time, when Navalet needs help, the other party has no intention of taking care of it. This is not aimed at him. What is Tang San? Hands clenched, he wanted to hit Villette's handsome face. Player Tang San, are you dissatisfied with me? Why do you keep staring at me with resentful eyes? Villette asked, confusedly. His voice was not loud enough that only Tang San and Ma Hongjun on the field could hear him. Hearing this, Tang San's eyes almost burst out with flames. Isn't his hint obvious enough? Navalet, the comments from these viewers have seriously affected my mood. As the referee, shouldn't you be in charge? Tang San said with an angry look. After hearing this, Navalet suddenly realized, thought for a moment, and then said, the competition has not officially started yet, the host is warming up, and it is normal for the audience to have some comments. Player Tang San, why don't you think carefully about why you are so annoying? PFF'd. Ma Hongjun, who was not far away, burst out laughing. He quickly covered his mouth to prevent himself from laughing, but his twitching shoulders couldn't hide it from Tang San's eyes. Tang San was also stunned. When he came to his senses, his face was as black as carbon. He thought to himself why he was so annoying. Navalet, do you want to hear what you have to say? Tang San was very crazy and roared in his heart. But what Villette said is absolutely fine. The host is warming up the show. He can't stop the audience from talking now, can he? After a while, the host stopped speaking, and Navalet was responsible for the next thing. Quiet. Navalet tapped the scepter in his hand lightly on the ground and said loudly. This action gave him a lot of blessings for his words. The whole place suddenly fell silent. The players on both sides are already in place. You have 1 minute to release your martial spirit. After 1 minute, the game will officially begin. During the competition, please keep your wits about the audience. No matter what kind of person the contestant is, absolute fairness is required in the arena. As soon as these words came out, Tang San's nails almost dug into the palm of his hand. Isn't Villette really targeting him? What does it mean no matter what kind of person the player is? Isn't Tang San's character bad? Damn it, this guy really has a way to die. The audience nodded repeatedly. They had already kept Navilette's hosting style in mind and tried to communicate carefully during the game. Even if you have to scold him, try to do it before or after the game. Then Villette will have nothing to do with him. Ma Hongjun, Wuhun, Evil Fire Phoenix, Level 27 Powerful Attack Type Soul Master, please give me some advice. Ma Hongjun took the lead in completing the possession of Wuhun, and a loud Kun sound echoed in the 8th branch, which stunned the audience. Evil Fire Phoenix, how does this look like a Fire X? Is this what the Phoenix calls like? Ma Hongjun's martial spirit is a mutated martial spirit. It not only has the side effects of evil fire, but the mutation is not too complete. The martial spirit currently does not have the phoenix posture. Even though they were 30 meters apart, Tang San still felt a wave of heat coming towards his face. One can imagine how high the temperature of Ma Hongjun's martial spirit flame was. It is a well-known fact that the fire attribute can restrain plant spirits. Tang San had fought against Ma Hongjun before, and although he didn't have a real fight, he still knew how much Ma Hongjun was weighing. If it were just a fight against martial arts, Tang San would probably be completely defeated because Ma Hongjun restrained him too much. It is a pity that Tang San is not a traditional soul teacher, and Tangmin has learned from the past, and there should be no problem against Ma Hongjun. Tang San, Martial Spirit, Blue Silver Grass, a 29-level control type Great Spirit Master, please give me your advice. After Tang San said this, he didn't say a word. He didn't say anything like Ma Hongjun, you are no match for me, just admit defeat. Because, as the soul master who restrained him, Ma Hongjun could not admit defeat at all. Besides, there was a referee on the side, staring at him eagerly, fearing that Tang San would not commit a foul. HMPH, then Villette, I, Tang San, will not let you succeed. As long as I understand the rules and use them, I can master them and then defeat your pride. Your so-called justice, fairness, I, Tang San, don't have any, not aware of it. Tang San secretly thought in his mind and sprayed Villette again. If his soul power wasn't too low now, he would have assassinated Villette no matter what. It is not too late for a gentleman to take revenge in 10 years. Tang San originally didn't want to take revenge for the night, but there was no other way. He was probably no match for the opponent now. Even if he didn't want to admit it in his heart, he had to admit it. If looks could kill, Villette would have been killed by him so many times. Time passed minute by minute, and the audience waited quietly. They did not feel unhappy, but felt a sense of anticipation. 1 minute is up, the game officially begins. The first soul skill, Blue Silver Coil. Chapter 35, Burn Tang Kun on Fire. As Na Villette's voice fell, Tang San took the lead in launching his first soul skill, Kiss. Blue Silver Coil. Those who strike first will gain the upper hand, but those who strike later will suffer disaster. This distance may be a bit far for other people, but to Tang San, it is nothing at all. Ma Hongjun had been prepared for a long time. He already understood what kind of person Tang San was and had been on guard for a long time. The first soul skill, Phoenix Fireline. As the first yellow soul ring flashed, Ma Hongjun spurted out a large amount of black-red flames from his mouth. When the blue-silver grass touched it, it was immediately ignited and died. It's a bit tricky. This fat guy's martial spirit just restrains me. His martial spirit has no advantage against me. Thinking of this, Tang San immediately changed his tactics. What about the great attack spirit master, and what about restraining him? Even if he doesn't use martial arts, Tang San is still the strongest at the same level. Purple demonic eyes, ghostly shadows. HMPH, I want to see how you hide. Ma Hongjun directly increased his soul power output and set half of the arena on fire. No matter how Tang San tried to hide, the evil fire would stick to it after all. He just wanted to make it impossible for Tang San to avoid and hide. Navalette on the side frowned. Although these flames were not dangerous to him, it was just that he naturally did not like such an environment and flames. Tang San frowned. He originally wanted to fight Ma Hongjun in close combat, but he didn't expect that Ma Hongjun would actually do this and directly spread the evil fire all over the midline. This was simply what a villain did. Damn it, once these flames stick to it, it is extremely difficult to extinguish, and its adhesion is also very strong. Tang San gritted his teeth, thought for a moment, and decided to step over this wall of fire. Tang San jumped 10 meters in an instant. If the ground is blocked, isn't there still heaven? As long as he crosses this wall of fire, Ma Hongjun will definitely lose. Put your feet in the air, as if you want to use the resistance of the air to let your body stay in the air for a while. Ma Hongjun is not a fool either. He has lived in Shrek Academy since he was a child, and occasionally comes to the soul fighting arena to fight souls. His fighting experience is also not bad. Seeing Tang San jump up and prepare to cross the wall of fire, at this moment, Ma Hongjun's cerebellum almost shrank. No, although Huo Chang is dead, Ma Hongjun is alive. Tang San jumped up, in midair, without any leverage. Isn't this a living target? The first soul skill, Phoenix Fireline. Without any hesitation, Ma Hongjun directly used his first soul skill on Tang San in midair, and he also secretly increased his soul power output. This opportunity cannot be missed, it will never come back again. Seeing this, Tang San's pupils shrank, and he was stunned. This was midair, and he couldn't fly. He had no leverage, so he could only let his body fall toward the ground. However, Ma Hongjun actually attacked him without any moral ethics at this time. At this time, what was the difference between Tang San and an unarmed man? With no time to think, Tang San used blue-silver coil again, but this time the target was not Ma Hongjun, but himself. He wanted to wrap himself up, so that he could at least block some of the damage. There is nothing wrong with Tang San's thinking, but he underestimated Ma Hongjun's flame. In just an instant, Tang San's blue-silver grass was completely burned by the flames. Although the blue-silver grass was burned, Tang San's crisis was relieved to some extent. He was only 2 meters away from falling to the ground. I don't know if Ma Hongjun deliberately controlled it or what, but a wisp of flame fell on Tang San's legs without any bias. After Tang San landed, he breathed a sigh of relief at first, and then a trace of disdain appeared on his face. HMPH, so what if you don't have martial ethics? In the face of absolute strength and brains, you have no chance. Tang San thought to himself. But he didn't notice the weirdness on Billet's and Ma Hongjun's faces. Tang San, don't you feel something is wrong? Ma Hongjun did not attack again, but stood there in a daze and asked tentatively. Billet's expression was equally weird. Tang San was only a human body now. He had not experienced the baptism of the ice and fire eyes and immortal grass, and was not immune to the ice and fire attributes. If this flame continues to burn like this, Tang San will probably be useless before he becomes a god, right? Seeing Ma Hongjun speak, Tang San was originally not prepared to answer because he wanted to be on guard against Billet, but he saw that Billet's expression was also very strange, which made Tang San suspicious. What's the situation? Something wrong. What's wrong? What is wrong with Tang San so handsome to avoid losing? Referee, player Ma Hongjun interfered with me. Tang San said this in Ma Hongjun's surprised eyes. Ma Hongjun, I remind you well, but you say it's disturbing you. Navalette was silent for a moment, and then said, Player Tang San, player Ma Hongjun is really reminding you. It's just a game of fighting spirit, not a life and death showdown. It should be stopped. Player Ma Hongjun did not violate the rules. Did you really not notice anything wrong? After hearing this, Tang San became even more confused. Suddenly, a burning smell appeared, extremely strong, and also had a faint smell of barbecue. Quote. Tang San couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. He lowered his head and looked at the smell from a distance. Tears burst out of my eyes instantly. When did there be a flame here? Tang San didn't have time to think too much, he kept beating the flames with both hands, but he forgot that Ma Hongjun's flames had extremely strong adhesion, and it was difficult to extinguish it with ordinary water. Unless he withdraws the flame himself or his soul power is exhausted, this evil fire will be extinguished. I slapped it hard many times, but the evil fire showed no sign of being extinguished. This made Tang San even more anxious, the sweat on his forehead mixed with the tears that came out of his eyes, and then fell. Help me. Contestant Tang San, do you want to admit defeat? Navalette almost laughed out loud, but Ma Hongjun kindly reminded him that if he didn't appreciate it, forget it, and even made a small report. As a result, he also reminded him, but Tang San didn't listen, so what should he do? Originally, this evil fire was just a very small wisp. I don't know if it was blessed by Ma Hongjun's soul power, but it burned more and more intensely. Admit defeat. Tang San almost forgot about the pain at this moment, lose. He can't accept it. However, if this flame is not extinguished, it will really burn to charcoal. He hasn't used it yet. I surrender. Tang San gritted his teeth and finally admitted defeat. In this case, player Ma Hongjun wins this game. After Ma Hongjun was announced as the winner, the audience burst into laughter. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 36, Third Brother. Third Sister. Haha, Burn Kun. It's funny, this Tang San player was invited by the Spirit Fighting Arena for entertainment, right? This kind of performance is something Tang San can only perform once in his life. It's wonderful, so wonderful. The audience was crazy for fun. Most of the audience here were girls. They came for Navalette. He blushed slightly and covered his eyes, but the gap between his fingers was a bit wide, revealing his beautiful and charming big eyes. Ma Hongjun. Tang San roared angrily, looking at Ma Hongjun with eyes filled with killing intent. What's wrong? Ma Hongjun was stunned for a moment, a little confused. He wanted to laugh but couldn't, feeling uncomfortable. Tang San was too miserable, right? He was originally planning to settle old and new scores with Tang San, but he never expected that Tang San would actually cut off his descendants. This can be considered revenge, right? I had kindly reminded Tang San before, but who knew that not only would he not appreciate it, but he would also say to Villette that he was interfering with Tang San. Should. What are you still doing? Put out the fire. Tang San shouted angrily, then lowered his head and took a look, maybe it was cooked. No, it's burnt. Oh. After hearing this, Ma Hongjun suddenly realized, and walked slowly to Tang San's side and withdrew the evil fire. Of course, he was observing Tang San's reaction at any time, fearing that Tang San would suddenly get angry and give him a blow. It is very possible for a villain like Tang San to do this kind of thing, so we have to guard against it. Tang San wanted to kill Ma Hongjun at this moment, but his reason told him not to do so. This fat man was the disciple of a powerful soul saint. If he died, he would definitely be hunted down by Flanders. At this time, he is not qualified to challenge the powerful soul saint. The clenched fist slowly unclenched, the anger and severe pain made Tang San's eyes darken, and he fainted on the ring. The severe pain caused Tang San to secrete adrenaline, paralyzing his brain, telling him that it didn't hurt, and he was able to persist until now. After the source of the disaster was eliminated, Tang San breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed a little. His brain's self-protection made him faint. Forehead. Ma Hongjun was stunned. Only he and Tang San came to Soto City tonight. Originally, he was not planning to go back tonight and was going to spend some money. But Tang San was like this, and it was only the two of them. Did they want to go back? Send Tang San back. After thinking for a moment, Ma Hongjun walked to Tang San, helped Tang San up, then nodded to Villette, and then walked under the ring. I won't go there tonight, so I can save a lot of money. This Ma Hongjun is quite interesting. Navalette nodded calmly as a response, and then prepared for the next arena match. Just as he had guessed, the increased energy in the duel between Tang San and Ma Hongjun directly raised his soul power level from the peak of level 63 to level 64. This speed is really fast. If the protagonist group has 10 or 8 duels every day, his soul power level still cannot take off. That's it, people are contented, well, so are dragons. Navalette thought to himself. Looking at the backs of Ma Hongjun and Tang San, Villet's lips slightly raised, but he did not laugh out loud due to his professionalism. This wave is purely an accident. Time passed, and when Ma Hongjun and Tang San returned to Shrek Academy, all the teachers and students of Shrek Academy were shocked. Tang San was lying next to the bed where Dai Mubai was recovering from his injuries. At this time, Dai Mubai was stunned. He was so seriously injured that he almost laughed himself to death. As a scumbag, even though he was beaten up by girls, he did not become like Tang San. At least, Dai Kun was still there and was not injured. But with Tang San's current appearance, he should be burnt, right? Haha, cough, poof. Even if he spit out a mouthful of blood again, Dai Mubai didn't stop laughing. You deserve it, you deserve it. Tang San, why the asterisk are you here too? It is God's will. Fat man, you did a great job. No, Ma Hongjun, you will be my boss from now on. Boss Ma, you did a great job. Dai Mubai went crazy. Yesterday, Tang San actually came to him and asked him why he was so seriously injured when he beat Xiao Wu, but Tang San insisted that it was his fault. I never expected that Ma Hongjun would take revenge on him today. This Tang San really deserves it. Dean, why are you sweating again? Oscar looked at Flanders in confusion, wondering why a master like Flanders was sweating like rain. After Ma Hongjun came back, he explained the situation to everyone. Tang San's incident was a complete accident. Others don't know Tang San's identity, but Flanders knows. His disciple actually asked Tang how to cut off his descendants. Just thinking of Haoshan Douluo's anger made Flanders feel chills on his back and break out in cold sweat. Although this is an accident, a strong person will not care whether it is an accident or not. Such hatred is as high as the sky and deeper than the sea. Flanders swallowed. Ning Rongrong's matter had not been settled yet, and now, he had offended another titled Douluo. He wanted to die. How about running away with Hongjun? We can't stay in Soto City any longer. This thought flashed through Flanders' mind. He shook his head again and ran away. How could you run away? If the other party really wants to find you, it won't be a matter of minutes. That is the first sect in the world and the second sect in the world. Tomorrow or the accident will always come first. I have lived enough in this life, but Hongjun is still young. What should I do? Looking at Ma Hongjun, who was a little embarrassed and still explaining to Dai Mubai that it was an accident, Flanders was very anxious, but he had no idea what to do. He checked Tang San's injuries and found that there was no way he could be saved. In Xiao Xin's words, he could only cut. There is no other way but to let Oscar's master Xiao Xin take action. After all, if this injury is not treated, Tang San's life will be in danger. Not dead and dead are just two concepts. Tang Hao hasn't come out yet after something like this happened, which means that Tang Hao is not paying attention to Tang San now. This kind of thing is difficult to talk about. Even if Tang San recovers from his injuries, will he have the nerve to tell it? This is an opportunity for him, Flanders, Ma Hongjun, and all Shrek teachers and students. As long as Tang San doesn't say anything and others remain silent, Tang Hao shouldn't be able to notice Tang San's changes in a short time. It's just one more day to live. My little Shrek Academy is really in trouble. Flanders shook his head and thought to himself. Third brother, he. Should I be called third brother or third sister from now on? Chapter 37. Where is my Kunkan? Ah! A roar of grief and anger resounded through the sky. Where is my Kunkan? Stop howling, you were thrown away by teacher Xiao Xin. Tang San's roar directly woke up Dai Mubai beside him. Dai Mubai raised the corners of his mouth slightly and said disdainfully. Having laughed enough yesterday, Dai Mubai still had the urge to laugh at this time. What? Tang San also came to his senses at this time. After thinking for a moment, he remembered what exactly happened. It's burnt. Thinking of this, Tang San's eyes darkened again and he fainted again. Your skin and hair is from your parents. How could he be worthy of the ancestors of the Tang family for such a thing? Seeing this, Dai Mubai shook his head. He planned to ask Dean Flender to move Tang San away later. Tang San being so noisy would disturb his recovery. Comparing it with Tang San, Dai Mubai suddenly realized that his injuries were still too light. Last night, he felt extremely happy when he saw Xiao Wu's lost soul look. The third brother became the third sister. They also said that they are just brother and sister. laughing to death. Perhaps it will be even more beautiful in the future. With Tang San now like this, will Xiaowu still like Tang San? As someone who has been there, Dai Mubai understands women very well. It must be impossible. Haha, you have today too. I, Dai Mubai, regard you as a confidant and a good brother, but in the end you are indiscriminate. You deserve it. A look of joy flashed in Dai Mubai's eyes. He was extremely happy at this moment. Doesn't this cause him more pain than killing Tang San? The scene changed to the playground of Shrek Academy, where Flanders was teaching. Tang San and Dai Mubai were recuperating from their injuries. Only Oscar, Ma Hongjun and Xiaowu were on the playground. Xiaowu was only slightly injured and is almost healed now. She glanced at Ma Hongjun beside her from time to time, not knowing what she was thinking. For Ma Hongjun's accidental injury to Tang San, there was a rare lack of hatred in Xiaowu's eyes. She didn't know whether she should hate Ma Hongjun. She had an inexplicable emotion towards Tang San that she couldn't explain clearly. I don't know whether it is family affection or love. She and Tang San had always known each other as brother and sister, and Tang San didn't show any emotion beyond that of brother and sister. Xiaowu is relatively ignorant about love. There is no love in the world of soul beasts, only. Tang Kun disappeared. Xiaowu naturally understood that Tang San was useless, not in terms of cultivation, but in that aspect. If it is a lover, Xiaowu cannot accept it. However, Tang San is only her brother in name only. Also, with the appearance of Navalette, Xiaowu found that she and Tang San were not that suitable. They had different paths and did not work together. There is no common words between them at all. She likes Villette, and Tang San hates Villette. Isn't this a difference? Ma Hongjun trembled when he felt Xiaowu's gaze. He still remembered how protective the brother and sister were. It is not an exaggeration to say it is poisonous. Is this woman trying to get revenge on him? Ma Hongjun thought to himself that although he was not afraid, he knew that it was easy to dodge open guns and hard to defend against hidden arrows. After this battle, he has completely become enemies with the brother and sister, the kind that will never end until death. Think about it, this is the revenge that will destroy Kun. Hey, I finally relented. If I had brought Tang San back last night, I would have killed him. Thinking of this, Ma Hongjun shook his head again. So many people in Soto City watched him help Tang San out of the city. This matter was hidden. Can't live. Killing his classmates, Flender shouldn't be able to tolerate him, right? It seems that I can only look for opportunities later. Oscar, what's going on with your soul power fluctuations? Didn't I tell you to restrain your soul power? Flender frowned. He ignored Ma Hongjun and Xiaowu, but said to Oscar, who was standing between them. Oscar's soul power fluctuated too obviously and was very unstable. A normal soul master would never make such a mistake. Before releasing their martial souls, soul masters will keep their soul power in check. Even soul masters whose soul power level is much higher than themselves may not necessarily be able to see through the specific soul power level. This is the basic operation for a soul master to walk on Douluo Continent. Dean, I have reached level 30. Oscar said weakly that he was supposed to break through to level 30 the day before yesterday, but because of Dai Mubai's accident, he postponed his training. Yesterday something happened to Tang San again. Tang San didn't have much to do with him, so he went back to practice. No, I broke through to level 30 early in the morning. What? Have you broken through to level 30? Flender was stunned and said subconsciously. Oscar nodded repeatedly and said seriously, Dean, you know me, how could I lie to you? Hearing this, Flanders was very happy. This is the only good news in the past few days. Tang San and others entered school, but Lao Jiao was beaten badly and almost died. Dai Mubai said something wrong and was severely injured by the three women. He is still lying down. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing left Shrek Academy and went back to Qibao Glazed Sect to complain. Tang Sankan. Every one of these things is a big event. If it weren't for Flanders' high level of cultivation and strong strength, he might have been scared to death. After feeling happy for a while, Flanders fell into deep thought. It is impossible for Lao Jiao to take Oscar to hunt for souls now. He is still lying down and has to be fed by Xiao Xin to eat. Dai Mubai and Tang San also need to cultivate for a long time. It is obviously impossible to form a team to go to the Star Do forest for training. Oscar, great, you didn't disappoint me. Suddenly, Flanders seemed to have thought of something, and continued to say to Oscar, well, you go find Mr. Li Yusong now and ask him to take you to the Stardow Forest to hunt for souls. After hearing this, Oscar's face was filled with pride, and he felt a little uncomfortable. He thought that Flanders or Zhao Wuji would take him to hunt for souls. Li Yusong was not incompetent, but his soul power level was a little low. Only level 62. But Flanders said so, as an assistant, you have no human rights. It's good that someone is willing to help you hunt the soul beast. Okay, Dean. After saying this, Oscar left feeling a little disappointed. How could Flender not know about Oscar's little thoughts? However, Zhao Wuji is not free at all now. As the dean, he couldn't leave Shrek Academy, just in case the two people from the Seven Treasures Glazed sect came to cause trouble, or Tang Hao found out about Tang San. He is in the college, so we can still talk. If he is not in the college, the consequences will be disastrous. The scene changed to Navalet's side. The joy brought by a breakthrough is fleeting, isn't it a breakthrough? Even if he doesn't discover part of Ji Yulong's power, wouldn't it be normal for him to break through level 7 or 8 in a year? Chapter 38. Romance in the Soul Fighting Arena. A host, a referee. As an apex creature of elements, it will continue to grow over time. The older it gets, the more powerful it becomes. Navalet has a full life ahead of him, but he is only a little over 12 years old. For immortals, he is no different from a child. Adult. Still early. The plot should progress to the Stardow Forest, right? I don't know what the protagonist group will gain this time. Suddenly, Billet seemed to think of something and shook his head again. No, even if Oscar breaks through to the Soul Lord, Tang San and others can't all go to the Stardow Forest together. Among them, the one least likely to go to the Stardow Forest is Tang San. He just lost Kun yesterday. If he doesn't recover for 10 days and a half, it's almost impossible to get out of bed and walk. How can he go to the Stardow Forest? Forget it, these have nothing to do with me. Whether they go or not, for me, it's better to come to the soul fighting arena to compete twice. It's a pity that Tang San won't be able to come to the soul fighting arena during this period. Dong dong dong. At this moment, the sound of Billet brought him back from his thoughts. Please come in. Comma. After the door opened, there was no surprise. It was the gold medal host Dudu. Little Nawe, are you going to host the spirit battle today? Would you like to come to my sister's home court? There are more spectators here. The players are also stronger. Dudu found a place to sit down very naturally, and then spoke. During this process, Dudu was not alive at all. After hearing this, Navalet remembered that Dudu had told him before that he would stay in the sub-area for a few days and learn the process before going to the main spirit arena to be a referee. That is to say, in cooperation with Dudu, one is the host and the other is the referee. As the supreme judge of the soul fighting arena, also the boss among the judges, it is somewhat unjustifiable to just stay in the divisional area. Sooner or later we have to go to the home court. But what about the protagonist group? After thinking for a moment, Navalet finally nodded. It would be better to go to the home court, where there are more spectators and more games. There is no future if you just gather the protagonist's wool. Although the quality of the home team's players is not as high as that of the protagonist team, their quantity can make up for this shortcoming. However, it only consumes more time. Thinking of this, Billet no longer hesitated, nodded and said, okay, Sister Dudu, I will go to the home court to cooperate with you from today on. As soon as Billet said these words, Dudu narrowed his beautiful eyes and beamed with joy. He was finally able to host the event with this wooden brother. He was so happy. Well, I'll let people break the news right now. Our Grand Inquisitor will be moving to the home court starting today. After saying this, Dudu did not stop, got up and walked towards the door, for fear that Billet would regret it. Seeing this, Billet spread his hands helplessly. His words were like water being thrown out. How could he regret it? Time flies by, and in a blink of an eye, it will be a few days later. Navalet worked conscientiously as a referee in the spirit fighting arena. The number of spirit fighting he presided over was not hundreds but dozens. Although the soul power level did not break through again and reached level 65, it was very close. This is only a week. Navalet discovered that in the process of accumulating energy, the more spectators, the higher the quality of the players, and the greater the improvement. This discovery made him feel lucky to come to the home court earlier. As the scene changed, Yu Xiaogang looked at Tang San lying on the bed, lost in thought. How long has it been since Tang San came to Soto City? Are you injured and lying in bed recovering? Teacher. Tang San wanted to get up, but was pushed back by Yu Xiaogang. Xiaosan, how did you get injured? Internal injury or external injury? As long as Tang San has the heart to respect his teachers, let's put etiquette aside for the time being. He is already injured, so it would be better for him to cultivate himself. Tang San almost cried when he saw the teacher he cared about. For Tang San, Yu Xiaogang is his other father. Now he is unfilial and has no descendants. Teacher. Why does Tang San always have tears in his eyes? Because his heart hurt, it hurt so much. Recently, Tang San discovered that even his dear sister Xiao Wu was somewhat distant from him, which made Tang San even more painful. Tang San, it's just a small injury, nothing serious. How could Tang San tell where he was injured? He also wants to lose face. This is one of the reasons why Flanders did not run away. As long as he didn't tell Tang San about this situation, over time, his injuries would be almost healed, and no one would find out that there was anything wrong with him. Who would have nothing to do and just go see that place? After hearing this, seeing Tang San looking a little embarrassed, Yu Xiaogang didn't ask any further questions. Perhaps he was injured and shocked, so it's hard to talk about it, right? Well, it's okay. It's okay. After the injury, try to heal the injury as much as possible, so that there will be no hidden injuries or sequelae. Hearing that Tang San said it was a minor injury, Yu Xiaogang didn't pay much attention to it. This child has been different since he was a child, so he wouldn't lie to him. Tang San's eyes twitched. He was just embarrassed to say it. This was much more serious than any internal injuries. He would rather be severely injured like Dai Mubai. I don't want this either. Suddenly, Tang San seemed to have thought of something, and looked at Yu Xiaogang doubtfully. Teacher, why did you come to Shrek Academy? Shouldn't teachers live in Notting College and spend their time eating and drinking? Why did you suddenly come to Shrek Academy? Yu Xiaogang had never mentioned this before. When he saw Yu Xiaogang, he almost thought he was hallucinating. Flanders is my best friend. He has always invited me to come to Shrek Academy to teach, but I refused before. Now that you have come to Shrek Academy, in order to continue to teach you and solve some of your cultivation problems, my teacher agreed to Flanders to come to Shrek Academy. Yu Xiaogang put his hands behind his back and said without changing his expression. In the past, he just didn't have the face to see Flanders. He was afraid that Flanders would see the clues, so he would run away. You know, if Flanders knew about it, they would not say that brothers could not be together, and they would not become enemies. Not bad. If Tang San hadn't needed Shrek Academy's teaching staff to obtain the spirit ring, he wouldn't have let Tang San come to Shrek Academy. He was enough to teach Tang San, but what could a wild guy like Shrek Academy teach him? They just have a lot of strength. Their knowledge on martial arts, soul ring matching, and soul beast research is definitely not as good as the knowledge he has. Even if this knowledge came from an illegitimate source and he deceived Bibi Dong and obtained it from Wuhun Palace, let's just say he has mastered it. The information from the Spirit Hall, plus the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect's research on spirits and spirit beasts, as well as his own fantasy, made him a spirit master, self-proclaimed. Chapter 39. When Billet went to Tiando City, Tang San laughed like crazy. Is there any news? Hearing the words of the visitor, Billet was startled. There has been news in the past few days. It only takes less than 10 days to get the best results. Okay, I know, thank you. After thanking the messenger, Billet walked out of the spirit fighting arena and walked out of the city. Soto City, specifically Tiando City, would take at least about a month even if a great soul master was on his way. With such a long distance, there is news within 10 days. This shows what? At least a soul saint of agility and attack type at the soul saint level is on the way, so it is possible to go back and forth in 10 days. Wait a minute, is it the old man who went there in person? It would not be surprising at all if Lexius went to Tiando City in person. Because Lexius himself is an agility type contra, and he is still at level 89. He ran back and forth within 10 days and found Dugubo. Among the people known in Billet, Lexius was the only one who could do this. Time passed, and after almost half an hour, Villette returned home. There were only Lexius and a few Soul Saint level, old farmers, here. Little Navi, this trip almost got my old bones into trouble. I am old and can no longer fly. Lexius smiled and continued, but fortunately, I found Douluo Bo. He was still wondering why I was looking for him. Thank you, Grandpa. Villette didn't say anything disappointing that there was actually no need to be so anxious. What's the difference between this and hindsight? He just didn't expect that Lexius would actually go there himself. You are still young, there is no problem in living for another few decades. After you break through to the title Douluo, you will still have a lot of time. Hey, let's not talk about this. I made an appointment with Douluo Mian to meet in Ducheng the day after tomorrow in the second half of the month. It seems that our grandfather and grandson can't rest. Let's go, time is running out. Suddenly, Villette seemed to have thought of something and said, Grandpa, how did you convince Douluo Bo? With his character, it's not like. Before Villette could finish his words, Lexius waved his hand and said with a smile, it's just a soul bone that's more than 10,000 years old, something that can be bought with gold soul coins. Forehead. Good guy, no wonder someone like Douluo Bo actually agreed to meet. The time was also agreed upon. My grandson, in this Douluo Continent, strength is the most important thing. Each of our 8 major families has at least one Contra in charge. This is why the 2 major empires, Wuhun Palace and other major forces are unwilling to offend. Our reasons. Of course, the premise is that we maintain absolute neutrality and do not have any interests with any force, then others will feel at ease. Secondly, it's a matter of worldliness and reciprocity. For example, this time, I directly opened the way with my soul bone. Even though the value of this soul bone is not high for Contra and titled Douluo, it is almost worthless. But can Douluo Bo not accept it? If he doesn't use it himself, it will be useful to future generations. As long as he accepts the soul bone, everything will be fine. Lexius raised the corners of his mouth slightly. He is just a man of the world, but he can't be manipulated casually. After hearing this, Villette nodded thoughtfully and said nothing. If you had absolute strength, you wouldn't need these worldly things. Instead, people would beg you. Unfortunately, there is no absolute strength now. Seeing Villette's enlightened look, Lexius nodded. It's good if he can understand. This is what you need to understand when your strength is low. To put it bluntly, strength must speak for itself in the end. Here in Soto City, Douluo was a little sad that Villette left without saying goodbye, and it made most of the audience equally sad. They all want to see Villette's face that is comparable to the legendary reader. As a result, Navalette disappeared. Tang San, Xiao Wu, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar had already put on their own masks when they came to the spirit fighting arena again. Moreover, all titles have been re-registered. Oscar has returned from hunting souls at this time, but the third soul skill is not the Flying Mushroom X in the original work. Thousand-Armed Shura, Soft Bone Charm Rabbit, Evil Fire Phoenix. These guys really showed up. Master Villette is really a god. The staff member responsible for arranging the players to be assigned to the ring murmured. Unfortunately, Navalette was not in the spirit fighting arena at this time. What? That Villette is not in the soul fighting arena now. After hearing what the staff said, Xiao Wu exclaimed in surprise. Yes, Lord Villette is not in the soul fighting arena at this time. As for where he went, we don't know. Ah, why is this like this? Xiao Wu pouted and said a little lonely. Tang San, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar naturally heard the news. Among them, Tang San was the happiest. The Navalite who was targeting him is gone. With his strength, who else at the same level in the soul fighting arena can be his opponent? It's just that Tang San had a vague feeling, as if something was about to leave him. He felt empty in his heart, and the happy smile was already on his face, but his smile quickly solidified and then slowly disappeared. He felt that something very important was drifting away from him. This is an inexplicable feeling. Is it an illusion? Tang San didn't know why. While brainstorming, he still couldn't figure out why he felt this way. In the end, Tang San shook his head. He couldn't figure it out, so he naturally stopped thinking about it. While Villette was not around, he wanted to improve his score. Third brother, you seem very happy. Xiao Wu frowned, raised her beautiful eyes, and said expressionlessly. Originally, she wanted to call her third sister, but after thinking about it, Xiao Wu finally decided to call her third brother. After all, they had been in a relationship for 6 years, and Tang San was still kind to her in the past. After hearing this, Tang San was shocked, and his face under the mask was a little distorted. Can't he be happy? Navalet. Navalet. It's all this Navalet. That's why Xiao Wu became like this. Xiao Wu, I just remembered some happy things, and I'm not happy because Violet is gone. Tang San said with a calm expression in a heartbeat. Ma Hongjun and Oscar were shocked. There was no silver 300 taels in this place. Did Xiao Wu say that Tang San was happy because of Violet? Tang San is so complacent that he didn't bring it upon himself. You. Xiao Wu was so angry that she was trembling all over. She pointed her right index finger at Tang San and opened her mouth slightly, but stopped talking. As expected, Tang San's prejudice against Navalet was like a rolling stone on a high mountain. Once it started to slide, it could never stop. Xiao Wu doesn't like Tang San like this. Snort. 40. Snow Qinghe. No, Qian Renxue. Tiando City is the imperial capital of the Tiando Empire. At the same time, it is also the most prosperous city in the Tiando Empire, not far from the Sunset Forest. After Navalet and Lexius set off from the outskirts of Soto City, they did not stay too long on the road and ran all the way, with the goal of Tiando City. Nearly 10 days later, the two of them arrived at their destination. On the way, Navalet also met Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zuqing, who were rushing back to Qibao Glazed Sect. Of course, he just glanced at them from a distance and didn't pay attention to these two people. Judging from the speed at which the two women were traveling, they were naturally not as fast as Violet and Lexius. They set off almost half a month in advance, but they still caught up with them. If they want to reach Tiando City, it will take them at least about a week. There are still 5 days left before the time agreed with Dugubo. During these 5 days, Navalet and Lexius temporarily stayed in Tiando City. On this day, Navalet was walking alone on the streets of Tiando City. This is his first time to visit Tiando City, and it is necessary to travel around. The description of Tiando City in the novel is only one-sided. It cannot be generalized. Lexius is different. There is no city in the entire Tiando Empire that he is not familiar with. As the patriarch of one of the 8 families, he also runs a powerful force like the Soul Fighting Arena, so naturally all big cities need to know about it. Navalet's attire has not changed much. Walking on the street, people passing by will look at him from time to time. Navalet didn't pay attention to this and just looked at the buildings in Tiando City. Different from modern times, the buildings in Tiando City are more like products from the 17th century on the other side of Blue Star. Majestic, spectacular, gorgeous. Even the houses where people live are not simple. Of course, who can live in a land as valuable as Tiando City? Tiando City is indeed prosperous, but it lacks a lot of popularity. There are almost no vendors in the city. Most of the passers-by are brightly dressed, gorgeous, and very elegant in their manners, but they lack a lot of the fireworks that belong to the human world. Any passerby who passes by may be a soul master or a noble. Even a big city like Soto City cannot compare with it. Navalet sighed with emotion as he walked. In terms of architecture, Tiando City is known as the top of Douluo Continent. Even Wuhan City and Xinglo City are not as majestic and spectacular as Tiando City. This also illustrates a problem. The nobles of the Tiando Empire are really better at enjoying themselves than those in Xinglo. At this moment, a blonde and blue-eyed, Gongzi, walked up to Navalet. His every move seemed calculated. Every move he makes is filled with the aura of a nobleman, and he looks gentle and gentle, giving people a feeling of being easy to get along with. Brother, this must be your first time coming to Tiando City, right? These words made Navalet subconsciously look at the person coming. This young master had a kind face and was also looking at Navalet. Yes, Tiando City is indeed the capital of the empire. After a little tour, I have a lot of emotions. Navalet nodded and said. The person had no ill intentions, and naturally he would not lose his face. The two of them started chatting like old friends. After a while, the Gongzi brother seemed to have thought of something. He cupped his hands towards Violet and said with a kind face, "It's snowing and clearing the river. Can you tell me my name? Of course, this is a bit presumptuous, but my brother and I hit it off as old friends at first sight, so. Shui Qinghe, before he finished speaking, Villette was shocked all over, and then again. Good guy. Is it such a coincidence? He said what was going on. When the two were chatting just now, there were at least several nobles looking at them with envy in their eyes. It turns out that the person in front of me is His Royal Highness Prince Tiando Shui Qinghe. What a ghost. She is Qian Renxue. Closing parenthesis. It's so good that we feel like old friends at first sight. In the first sentence, I say, little brother, and in the second sentence, I call me, brother. Why did Qian Renxue target him? And also took the initiative to say hello. After thinking for a moment, Villette shook his head again. His appearance and temperament were the absolute protagonist among the crowd. Let alone him walking alone on the street. It is quite normal to be stared at. Navalette waved his hand and said, His Royal Highness is joking. When he said this, Navalette bowed his hand again and continued, My Majesty Navalette, the highest judge of the great soul fighting arena in Soto City, His Royal Highness is able to talk happily with common people like us, and he can be said to be approachable. Quote. After all, he did not receive an imperial title, nor did the old man Lexius, so he was naturally considered a commoner. Of course, as an absolutely neutral force, it is impossible to accept rewards from Tiando or Star Luo Empire. Hearing this, Shui Qinghe was stunned for a moment. The highest judge of Soto City, his name is Navalette, is he actually from the soul fighting arena? Furthermore, judging from his dress and temperament, he does not look like an ordinary staff member. It seems that she has met members of the 8 major families. He is worthy of being the heir of a reclusive family. With this temperament and appearance, it would be a pity if he was just a reclusive person. The reason why she came up to get close to Navalette was just to get acquainted with him. As for the other party knowing her identity, Qian Renxue was not surprised. It is not a secret that Shui Qinghe is the crown prince of Tiando. Could there be a second person named Shui Qinghe in Tiando Imperial City? The other party is a member of the 8 major families, so there is no problem in knowing her identity. Little brother Villette, it's fate that we can meet each other. We hit it off as old friends, which makes His Royal Highness the Prince too familiar. Besides, this is not the palace, so it doesn't have to be like this. Shui Qinghe waved his hand, as if he didn't care about this identity, and then continued, If you are willing, little brother, you can call me Brother Shui. Shui Qinghe has a smile on his face, and his main character is that he is an amiable and approachable person. When Villette saw this, he shook his head and said, Thank you for your kindness, Your Highness. There are many rules in the family, so I can't accept it. The reason why the 8 major families can survive to this day is that they do not favor any party, and they do not offend any party. Eradicating the 8 major families will cause heavy losses and the gains will not be worth the losses. They just open the spirit fighting arena safely and don't care about other things. They never care about the disputes on the Douluo Continent. Whoever claims to be king and dominates, he will not participate. Who would have nothing to do to eliminate such a force? As soon as these words came out, Shui Qinghe instantly realized that all her previous guesses were correct. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories, and never miss out on a great listen.